Go for it.
Who's leading this meeting?
Lynette is.
I am.
Go for it, girl.
You read this part.
Right here. I have to read this part right here?
Yeah, tell the time.
It is 6:32 p.m. on Tuesday, May 28th. And then I have to read this.
Yeah.
Notice is hereby given that a meeting of the City of Sandy Oaks Animal Control Advisory Committee will be held on Tuesday, May 28th, 2019 at 6:30 p.m. at Sandy Oaks City Hall located at 4451 Hickory Haven, Sandy Oaks, Texas 78112 for the purpose of considering the following agenda items. All agenda items are subject to action. So we can start at the end of the table and y'all state your names, please.
Julie Ramirez, Michelle Hessler.
Lynette Fetterspell.
And you have a quorum. That's all you need.
That's-
3 of 5.
That's us.
Okay.
Okay, and if we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't sit down. It's terrible.
It's terrible.
It's moving.
I didn't want to like sit down.
Usually it's mine that would move. Alrighty.
Okay, so we've done 1 and 2. We're on number 3, and it says discuss and or possible action on rules for the attendance at the animal control meetings.
I believe last time, 3 in a row, said yeah.
Yes, so it's if we miss, well, it's really just the 3 of us. If we miss more than 3 meetings in a row, we're out.
Is that going to be regular
3
meetings?
or
Right.
more or more than 3.
I think at the 3rd one is the deciding
I
factor.
think it is. That's the way it
That's
is.
what, yeah. If you miss 3,
3.
then
If you miss 3 consecutive.
3 regular.
3 consecutive.
And we have, okay, 3 consecutive regular.
Consecutive, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have to call a special in there.
Yeah, but we're doing them twice a month anyway,
Yeah.
so I doubt we'll have
Okay.
specials.
So 3
It's
consecutive.
3 consecutive.
Mhm.
You're up. Okay.
Do I have to have a motion for that?
You 3 are up.
Someone needs to make a motion.
What kind of motion?
I motion that
I motion 3 consecutive meetings.
and you're off the
If you
committee.
miss 3 consecutive,
If you miss 3 consecutive meetings,
you'd
you're
be
out.
removal. Yes.
Who seconds?
I second.
Show of hands.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Okay, number 4, discuss and or possible action on recommendations to City Council concerning changes to Ordinance 2016-37, Section 8.5 of the who our chairperson is. Alderman Thomasini.
Well, the only problem I have with that is not a valid ordinance number for us to discuss.
Oh,
So,
And he's not here
and
anyway.
he's not here. Yeah, it's 2019-131 is the current one.
219. What is it?
It's under item 6. It's down there.
131. We changed it to include the.
And did we know what he wanted to talk about on
I
that
don't
anyway?
know. Unless it was how many days to keep until we dispose.
He had.
It was pretty general because he sent something to me, but he didn't specify. He just said that. And I
Surprise.
sent back to him and tell me exactly what you want to change.
Did he
And I'll
say
let
go
you
read
know."
this?
Excuse me? Sorry.
I said, did he say go read this?
So
That's usually
he'll
his
have to come back
response.
with it, so it'll be probably
Okay.
your next meeting.
So we're gonna
Okay.
There's
pull-
several things I think that need to be addressed.
Okay.
Okay?
So let's-
So he needs to pinpoint each specific item.
Yes, I need
They're
more
all
details.
separate- They're all
Yeah.
separate actions.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and pull this one then.
For 4 and 6?
No.
Just 4?
Just 4.
6 references the correct one, so you just need to pull number 4.
Okay. So then on to 5. Discuss and or possible action on a recommendation to the City Council for removal of Alderman Thomasini as chairman and nominate and appoint a new chairperson. How do we do that?
Can I give you some insight on that as well?
Yeah, please do.
All right. Although Alderman Tomasini may have his own opinion on a lot of things,
Uh-huh.
you all are on an advisory committee, and you need to vote on actions you want to take. Alderman Tomasini in himself doesn't have the power or authority to make recommendations to the council on his own merit. He's been to school. If you take him out as the animal control, the chairman of your committee, then the council is going to be in a predicament because we have no one else who really has the training that he has. Albeit you may not like some of the things he says, but he has the knowledge to do the job. So I would.
Our concern is we are not discounting his knowledge or his willingness to want to help or trying to alter his thoughts or his opinions. We want his input and we are thriving for it. However, the input is not cohesive. Like I need more of his solutions to help us to get there because he does have that versus tell me what we're doing because we all want the same thing. But I need more information of his knowledge.
Well,
and that's
and then
where-
somebody more involved.
That's
And
where you guys need to get more involved and get a little more familiar with the health and safety codes as they pertain to animal control, what the state guidelines are as far
We know
as
what that
the-
is. That
But
was
he-
all in the book that
It's-
everyone was given
and
at the
that's-
first
that's what-
meeting.
That's what needs to be getting discussed at your meetings.
But
I
David,
would be reluctant to have him remove that, and I don't want to,
well, let me explain because I've been at all but the very first meeting that they've had, and his input is zilch.
Yes,
He-
that's what I was
He does
gonna say.
not contribute.
And-
What he will do is he will say, "Here, go read this." We've already
and
read that.
I'm working on him.
Well,
I'm working on
and
because
we
I'll tell
have
you,
tried
I'm
working
here
on
because
him too.
I'm interested in what's going on. I'm
Sure.
concerned about what's going on. Let me put it that way. I'm concerned. But I wouldn't take the job on. I don't want to chair this committee. I think he's the best fit for it. I'm working on him as far as what he needs to do to make the whole program successful. And that's, I'd ask you to give him a couple more months.
Oh,
But we don't
God.
have
we
a
don't
couple
have
more
that kind of
months. We
time,
have-
David.
He, in all
What is it?
honesty,
He
he
doesn't offer
hasn't
solutions.
done anything.
He
He
doesn't
doesn't
offer
even
help.
offer input. He reads the agenda, he, asks for a vote, but he never puts any input in. When it came to purchasing the temporary kennels,
He didn't even
he
vote
was
for it.
right here when all of that was discussed. He never once said, that's a bad idea, I think we should, or perhaps we should
And
consider.
now that's where
And
we're at.
that's what he should have done. If he's so educated, which, I know he has done his classes or whatever, that's the input that we need. Of course, we're not going to.
You need to pull it from him. I mean, like I said,
We shouldn't
We
have to
shouldn't
do
have
that.
to.
That is
That's
his,
it.
he
It's
has
not just-
chosen to
it's
be a
not-
chairman.
It's not just his ideas, he's chairing the committee. You guys should be providing the input,
We
not
are.
just him.
No, they are,
He's
but what
not.
happens is he shoots down everything that they say. So instead of the temporary kennels, we had a discussion about that. It was decided, yeah, we need something to temporarily hold them. Chris goes out, he picks up an animal. Okay, he's got to put it somewhere so we can go make a phone call to find out if the vet has room. That's all that's for. It may turn into an overnight. It could have tonight. But he never once said, you can't do that.
Or offer a solution
that
on what we
won't
could do
work.
instead.
And
Few
that
things that
won't
need to
work
be
and
done
try this.
To those cages, the cement, there's a few things that need to be done to at least bring it up. It's not even subpar at this point. So there's just some things that need to be
But
done.
That
what's
we
the difference
understand.
of just putting them in the back of the pickup? I mean, he never even answers the question.
Yeah.
He just sits there and
I-
gives us
There you
this little shitty
We
grin and nothing
completely agree,
happens.
exactly, and we completely agree, it wasn't the best solution, but he didn't give an alternate, and he didn't say, no, that, according to the rules, that we can't do that.
Right.
He never said that. He
And
sat right
unfortunately,
here and agreed
Yeah.
with it. And then he turns around and says, makes a, big deal about it. Well, he should have said that to us. That's what we're here for.
I'll agree with you on that point, but I'll also agree with that it's not the right.
No, we all know
Yeah,
it's,
we-
we know
It's not right.
that.
Oh,
And I think that's his big,
No, let me tell you what his reason is. His real reason behind all this is because of his job. He is an officer of the court, and he feels like anything that we're doing
yeah.
that is
I've
illegal
heard that from him.
jeopardizes his job. So step away and don't be jeopardized. There's
I've
plenty
heard-
of other
I've heard
people to
that
do
from
that.
him, and I've told him, you are not personally liable for anything you do here.
But it would be nice if he would be helpful. He's not helpful. He does
And-
not contribute.
And again, I'm working on him because it's like I'm his sounding board.
But Alderman, we don't have
We don't
another
have that kind of
2 or
time.
3 months to just sit back and wait for him. Had Mickey not sat in after the first meeting, we would still be where we were at the first meeting.
And nothing got
Which was
accomplished at the
no-
last
Looking at each
meeting.
Nothing.
Nothing at
I
the last
guarantee
meeting.
you, I went home and thought, what are we doing?
I know, as soon as he walked out of here after the last meeting, we all looked at each other like, what just happened? I mean, we were
We
supposed to
accomplished
talk
nothing.
about a foster program.
That's why Luann
Nothing.
left,
I mean,
because there was
nothing. And he
happening.
just got up and walked out the door. And it's like,
And we've already lost some members because of it.
Exactly.
Luann was, you know,
Well,
we're
I
not
think-
moving fast
I
enough.
think Chris could probably, at the minimum, he could seal the concrete over there. And that would at least get some of the wrongdoings that
there are no wrongdoings going on up there. The only animals being held up there are cats.
And they're not-
Runoff is not an issue with cats because they have litter boxes. So, I'm throwing that whole argument out.
so you're not gonna put dogs up there.
No. Now, we may, like I said, he may have to put one in there while he makes an appointment and then transports it. So it's not sitting in the back of the pickup baking. It's got shade, it's got water, and it's very temporary.
Can I ask about the shade though?
Sure.
Because what the shade is towels and blankets and tarps
Mhm.
hanging. That looks horrible. I mean, I'm
It's not
my,
ideal, I
But my
admit.
property is right next to it. That's what I see every day. That's
It's
not,
not
what I bought.
ideal, it's not perfect, I
The
understand.
But we're
and-
working up.
Well,
Oh,
the
so what-
blankets
what
and
would
stuff
you-
went up because of the rain. We were trying to keep the cats dry.
But there should be other things than
There
blankets
should
and-
be,
and
yeah.
towels.
There should be lots of other
something.
things
Have
going
been,
on.
They
But
don't-
we
they don't
don't
wanna
have
move
that
forward.
yet. So it's like, until we get a facility, we either don't pick up any animal
animals.
whatsoever. We were required by Bear County to go get those cats
Yes.
out of that
Tried on that one.
situation from a deceased woman's house. We had to.
They responded.
We could have picked them up and put them in someone else's house to die. They were sick. It was either save them. We had no option but to pick them up.
Right. And because they were indoor cats, they're not feral. Therefore, Bear County, if they're outdoor cats, they won't touch them. They're feral. That's the way they consider them. These were indoor. They're
The
not
vet
feral.
won't take them. We had no choice but to keep the cats where we had them. We had no choice but to put up a tarp to keep them out of the sun. I mean,
And they're
I'm sorry it's an
doing- they're
eyesore,
doing
but
fine
we
up
don't
there.
have any
It's
other
not
option.
ideal, but they're not suffering. And I have 4 of them in my house. I'm fostering 4 of them in my house.
Okay, well, just noted, it's a concern.
Which is
it
is a valid concern. Nobody's sitting at this table and wants. I get it. I totally do. But until other people than the 3 of us sitting at this table is willing to take an animal home, can I call you? Can you hold on to that cat for me so it doesn't have to sit outside?
Yeah, because we don't want them there.
We don't want them there. We
Yeah.
go on our own time, my own money, my own gas. Am I going? And all 3 of us are coordinating how to get the care for those cats because that's what's needed because that's where we are. Do we want this? No. Do we wish they could go
Julie
to a
took
foster
2
home?
cats on her own dime in her vehicle to Austin this last week.
I mean,
So,
no,
it's
we're
not
not
that
trying.
Nothing's being done. We're not hoarding them. We're moving them. We had 25. We have 5 up there now?
Yeah, fine.
We have 5 up there.
But they still need shade.
They still need
Right,
shade.
which we are all
have-
acknowledging that, and that's why there's sheets and whatnot. Because I have no more room.
And I hung those. I hung them because I didn't
mean,
want them.
it's not that
you
we
know,
don't
baking in the sun.
think your concerns are valid. Absolutely. I don't know what to do. And euthanizing a healthy animal, an adoptable animal, is not something I'm on board with.
But then again, I think, and I have an adopted dog. Like I know what you're saying. I've been there. But there also has to, I mean, you have to have the rules that you set for a reason, right? So how long are we going to keep these animals? If they're sick, what are we going to do with them? Like, those things have to be established and followed.
We've already
And-
done that. If there
But
is an
was it
animal
followed,
that's
though?
sick,
Yes, if there's, okay. So if there's an animal that's sick, let me speak because I'm the
Please.
one who takes care of them.
exactly.
Okay.
Chris picked up an injured shepherd. She needed immediate care. The vet was closing. I picked up and took responsibility for that animal, drove it to my vet, held the 3-day hold, got it into a rescue. I covered the first initial exam and the care for that dog's leg. He was broken in half and took care of it. If there's an emergent need that needs to be met, I'm it. Some of those kittens, eyeballs were popping out of their heads. I took them to my vet because we're trying to put a program together. And so I don't want it to fall apart. So I'm taking the initiative to handle those things, you know, through a rescue and coordinating. And it's an open book if you want to know what they got or who they saw. I have them at my vet, and she is happy to talk to whoever about the care these animals are receiving.
And
When
I
it's
think-
an emergent situation. But what our problem is we've been working on this since January, so we don't have to do this.
Exactly.
What are our options? What can we have? What can we vote on? We don't know those things. We're here because we want to help the community be a better place. So we are relying on Alderman Tomasini to guide us in that. He gave us all our, guidelines and state guidelines and whatnot. That's fabulous. Help us get there. That's our problem.
And that's where.
I know he wants to do it, but it's been-
Within your committee.
And when you talk about some guidelines, so the ordinance says, and it's state law, you have to hold them somewhere 3 days for the owner to be
Minimum,
found.
3 days.
Minimum 3 days. Yeah, we haven't set a time frame of when we're going to kill them, but you hold a dog at a vet for 8 days, you're spending $300 or $400.
Right.
You want to just turn around and kill it now because it's 8 days, or now you
It's still
spent
a
$400 or
perfectly
$500. It's a perfectly healthy,
animal.
adoptable animal. Do you want to give it a few more days to find?
And if we had
I
our
know
own
there's got to be a
facility,
line to draw.
That part of the equation drops.
I would say,
And that's what I'm questioning. So I'm just reading this stuff and understanding what y'all are doing and what's been passed, right? But I'm also questioning, is this a city vote? Is this something the city
Everything goes to
should?
the county.
Right.
These are recommendations.
Right.
Committee.
And that's where
Here
I'm
to
like,
make
okay, so
recommendations.
if we're gonna take care of these animals, which that's respectable, right? But shouldn't it be something that we decide as a city versus?
Oh, it would be.
When you
Versus-
say a city, you mean every resident vote on it?
Well, possibly if we're gonna build a huge shelter,
We're not
right?
going to build a
Why
huge
not?
Or
shelter.
a place where we can fit these animals, right? Because right now we don't have any.
We don't.
We
We've
have
already
this
decided we don't want to ever hold more than 10, and the reason is just the managing of 10 is probably going to require a number of volunteers and maybe a paid position just to run that facility.
And medicine and medical attention and
We have a veterinarian. The city has a vet.
Yeah, we're not going to have a.
I'm just wondering, what's the alternative? Just let
Just
us have
don't-
strays?
And
Let's
I
just
mean,
not
I don't
do
know.
anything.
Or kill every,
not-
But we have to set some type of
yeah.
And that's what-
guide, rules, whatever, limitations, because if I can drive from here to Mathis Road, go up Skyla, and probably count 12, 15 strays.
Oh, I
can
believe
go
it.
down
I
Mathis
know.
Road and count another 10. But we have to have a realistic goal so that we can reach it. Otherwise, it's going to take us years to control the animal population.
Well, there's several things that need to happen, not just the holding facility. Yes, that's a
spay neuter,
spay, neuter,
licensing.
microchipping, enforcement,
If you feed
tickets.
the dog, I got neighbors
Tickets.
that have.
So that's
Six
what I'm
big dogs
saying.
and they
We're
feed them,
struggling.
but you
We're
ask them
struggling
if they're
here
not
with the
their dogs.
facility.
That's
We
where
need
it
people to
starts.
step up to help with the other things. Can you find us a mobile vet that can come in here? Can you find us somebody who is skilled at doing microchipping and doing the registration?
We've got the microchips and the syringes. We
Yeah.
just need, we can't rely on Lynette to do everything.
No.
She can do it. She's offered to do it, but, we can't stretch her thin and then lose her
And if you don't get a
because of that.
spay neuter program in place, this never
That's
gets under
Or start
control,
hitting
ever.
people's pockets with tickets, you know, I mean, he can issue citations.
And that's another thing that needs to start happening, when you start getting people's attention.
Yeah.
Say, hey, oh man, you better.
But
take your dog-
honestly,
better
to
take
get
your dog in,
anything
or-
started, it's going to start with our own little facility, whether it's 4 dogs, 5 dogs, that's where we struggle is, okay, he got a call for 4 dogs. What if Oak Hills doesn't have room?
Exactly.
We
What
let
do you
them
do
run the
with
street. We don't.
What do we do?
I
It's
said,
a
don't pick them
problem.
up. You
So
can't.
what, no, seriously, what do we do with them?
I'll ask you, what do we do with them?
I don't know, I'm asking
I mean, if
you.
I called Oak Hills and said, and they said, we've
I'm
got
turning them
room.
loose. We just turn them loose.
But that concern is a vicious dog. I've called on a vicious dog twice.
That Doberman is not vicious.
He is to my
He is
kids.
to
To the
little
kids.
He is
yeah.
to my kids, Mickey.
We'll take video of it.
And
I don't
will-
care about the video, I'm just saying, I've got, no, I have the same problem in my intersection. My intersection, the next intersection, and the next one, we have 20 dogs roaming up and down the street. You can't sleep at night because of the fights.
Do they come to your car door when you try to get out
Oh,
of the
yes,
car?
they do. They
Well,
come
that's
up on
what
my
happens.
patio, they
That's what
chase my
happens
cat
with
up the
kids.
tree.
And so
But my
that's-
point is, what's vicious to you, I've seen that dog, he was very friendly, walked right up to me.
That's you, a big
Okay,
person.
but I'm just saying, so you say it's vicious.
And I'll take video and
But
so here's my thing. So if that dog attacks my child, who's gonna be responsible?
The owner
The
of
owner
that
of the
dog.
dog.
Owner, but I'm also gonna say I've called the city
No,
3
there's
times.
nothing,
No,
what do you
no,
want us to do? You tell us we can't hold them
Pick
because
up
it's
the dog.
illegal.
But
Pick it up and take
Well,
it where?
Well, they
Pick
did
it
start
up.
tying the dog, but, I mean, if it keeps happening, it's something like
And I
that.
think
What
I've-
won't you do?
That's
Won't
what-
you
Didn't I
decide,
send you over to
we
talk
have-
to the
We
guy?
have a regulation, we have.
Did you?
know,
To the lady.
regulation that says
To the
they're
lady?
supposed
And you
control
talked to her
rat,
twice?
Yes.
yard or whatever, so.
And the dog is
this-
still
They're
loose?
not doing it, then
Okay,
they decide.
so
When
how
I
do you
went,
know
it
it's
was
their
still
dog? Is it
tied up.
microchipped?
Oh, I know. it's
That
their
morning
dog.
it was.
But how do you know it's their
I
dog?
called.
I don't know
Because
that.
when you come to me
The morning you called,
and the dog
then
has
I
been
sent him,
vicious,
and it was
No.
and you
that
tell
was
me it's
the
my
first
dog,
time.
I'm gonna say it's not my
The
dog.
second time
Can't
Oh,
I
yeah,
prove
talked
it's
to
my
a
dog.
gentleman.
Yeah, I get that from.
Ken,
I'm just
probably.
saying.
And then he
Same
sent
thing.
Chris?
Yes.
See, the thing is,
Because you've been there twice.
She had a different story. She said that he was never loose.
Going to talk to the
He was always tied up. So I don't know that. That's why I'm saying take
I've
pictures.
seen him in the intersection.
I told you to take pictures. I
But
don't
why
know.
is that okay that this dog's in the intersection? That's my whole thing.
It's
We
not,
have
but
rules.
It's
until
not.
he can see it, he can't cite the person, you know? I
She
mean,
had a different story.
And that's where I'm saying. So something happens, where's gonna be the responsibility? When
The
something
owner.
happens?
It's always the
Yeah,
owner of the
it's always-
animal.
But I've also called the city, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't
and we've
matter, it's
responded.
still a private, it's still a civil
But
matter.
I'm saying when you can't pick it up, then what?
I don't know.
I don't
That-
know,
that's-
that's why we're here.
Alderman
have to be in the
Thomasini.
Yeah,
So
give
if
me
it's in the
Thomasini's
street,
number.
then I can legally pick it up. But if it's not, and it's
And
on the
it-
property, that's
And it's not just my concern, it's everybody. There's dogs, like you said, all these dogs. What if
Sure.
it attacks a kid?
I-
Oh, we can't pick it
exactly.
up because Oak Hills is full.
Exactly. So what
So,
do you
you
suggest?
would
We
like
don't
to
have a
have a facility
facility.
here.
We don't have a
Now we're
facility.
back to, we've
But
gone
not-
around the bush
not
3
that.
times and we're back where we started.
Not that, right? Where it's not legit. Like it's not.
Okay,
So what is
so there's
Those are
the,
my
That's,
questions.
yeah, that's
well,
that's
those
the
are our
conundrum.
questions too. That's
Yeah.
what we've been
that's why
asking.
we're arguing with Thomasini.
That's
Alderman
what number
Thomasini,
5 is here for.
Why, why he didn't agree with us on the first.
And every time we
so.
would make a suggestion, he would say, well, that won't work. Why won't it work? Well, here, go read this. No.
Because it
you-
says it right
Why
here,
do I
doesn't
have
it?
to go recreate? You obviously know it. Share it. Why do I have to go back
What's the-
here? Why do you make all of us go back here and start from square one when you already know the
And
answer?
if you've read it, it's very hard to understand. I was reviewing it today, looking for to cover our agenda
And
topics.
I think it's actually in there too.
And I know
It's
it's
in
in
the books.
here. And also, when you read the ordinances, it's for a very large city. Those ordinances are for of 75,000 people. So I know,
Actually, I think it's a county of 75,000.
Right.
So we
Oh,
are
we are.
in that.
Within the county.
right.
Yeah.
So I we are just asking that he reach out to, I know that there's rescues that have outdoor facilities. What we need to do to get to a facility that we can afford, that we can help problem solve all of these loose dogs. It's going to take forever because
Julie
people
and
just,
Lynette and I, and we even extended the invitation to everyone to go with us and visit other facilities to see how are they set up? How do they deal with this? It was just the three of us. He never showed
And I
up.
understand Kirby is not all that
Kirby is not all that, and I hear
spectacular.
Elmendorf is even worse. So
Yeah.
why are
They have
we
an animal
harping on
control
what we're doing
facility, and
here?
it's a metal building with a, Chris has been in it. It's a metal building with, I don't know if it has a concrete floor.
There's no AC, it has concrete, but it's not
It's not
porous.
sealed.
It's
Yeah.
porous,
Not
yeah.
sealed.
His
Yeah, no
CS
AC.
And it's got like
Yes.
3 kennels in it, and that's
At
their
Brooks
animal
used
facility.
to be the same way. It was an old barracks
Yeah.
over at Brooks. It had no AC. It was completely open. There was just kennels in there, and then the
Yep.
fencing, for
I
the.
can-
We're just asking
outdoor.
what we need, what he can help us get to abiding by the guidelines, because we don't want to break rules. We don't want the animals to suffer. We want to be able to provide solutions for everybody.
And I can tell you and guarantee you, every animal that's been in the city's care has fared better with us than out on the streets.
Exactly.
The first thing they get when they get to the vet is Capstar. Every flea drops off of that dog for a month at least.
They get
That's-
their rabies
that's-
vaccination. They get tested.
But even
for-
before that, first thing,
Right.
the instructions, Capstar. And of course, test for
Heartworm test.
heartworms and all of that. Then we wait until we know that we can get them adopted before we spend any more money on them. The ones we have down at Oak Hills right now, they've still not gotten their rabies and whatnot because
we don't know.
we
where
don't
they're
know
going.
where we're going to place them. But when we do, that's when they'll turn around and get all of their shots and stuff. But in the meantime, you had to have seen the pit was starved by its owner. It was horrible. And that dog's looking gorgeous. It's a beautiful white pit. They've fed it for now 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks now.
Very nice.
But every cat out there that we have right now is in better health and more comfortable than they were in their original. They're gorgeous cats now. So we're doing good. We're just not doing it as fast as
And we're
most
doing what we
want.
can as
Well,
fast
it's
as
gonna
we
take a long
can.
time, too.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what's very frustrating, is to have all the negative comments coming and being pointed at us that you're doing it wrong, you can't do it that way. That's not helpful. It's a huge problem.
I agree with
It's
that.
not a new problem. This problem's been going on
It did not happen
before we were a
overnight.
city.
Yeah.
And so, rather than being negative or not being supportive, I would much rather, if anyone has any comments about it, that it be a constructive comment on how to make it better. But to say we're doing it wrong or that it's illegal is not helping.
Or we're
We're
not
not
doing
saying
anything at
anything
all.
Or we're not
Yeah.
doing anything at all. It's not being helpful.
Because we're dealing with, it's not a human life, but it's a life.
Exactly.
And it gets very emotional when you're trying to save the lives and then turn around and be told, you're doing it wrong. You're not doing it right at all. Or,
Yeah.
you're putting a dog in a kennel that has a doghouse. Oh my God, where would it have been, if we
Yeah.
hadn't have put it in a kennel with a doghouse and food and water, but you get shot down for the things that you do, and it can get very
It is
emotional.
very emotional. It's very frustrating.
And it's, yes.
Because what you see right here, this
the
is
extent.
it.
That's it.
This is all you got.
For hundreds
She works,
hundreds
and
of
it's
dogs.
not
She
what we
works, I
started
work,
with.
she works, he works.
I work.
And you kind of work.
No,
But-
I'm not criticizing anything
No.
you do. I'm saying you guys
We're doing
need
our
to take
hardest.
more control of your output, what you're producing, what you're bringing to the council, because the council is going to act on what you.
Well, this
bring
is all a
forward.
learning experience for us. We are learning, the three of us, how this works, what our parameters are. We've turned in our little advisory committee trying to help guide the community into, we're helping save these animals, as we all have been doing on our own from the beginning before.
And I think a
Yeah.
lot
So-
of people
I-
appreciate
And our
it.
knowledge, right, and our knowledge and our experience is what we're bringing to the table. He knows the ins and outs of that. That's all we're asking
That's what
for
we
is
thought.
Yeah,
is
we
for him
thought.
to help us with that.
So at this point, you're operating under Robert's Rules of Order.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, does he has voting power?
No.
No. So if you guys have an idea,
They can't make votes, though.
What do you mean?
They
Well,
can
they
make-
can on their committee things, like when they're
On
going
the
to set
committee,
dates and
They
times.
can vote to bring something before the council.
Yes,
They
they
can,
can.
and he's
that's
supposed
what
to
you
be
need
bringing it.
doing is if you have an idea, you have ideas, you want to bring it before the council, you don't need his approval
No,
to
but
do that.
they need
No.
his insight because he has the training and the knowledge, and that's where the
I
gap is.
understand that, but if it's getting to the point where he's not listening to what they're saying.
That's why
just
they want to
because-
remove him.
Yeah.
Just because, well,
Well, it's not just that.
And it needs to
He
be-
sat here, like Julie said, we sat here and we went over those temporary kennels, okay, trying to figure out, we need some place so they don't have to be caught. So say Chris picks up a dog and it sits in that trap in the back of the truck. We're going to get chastised for that. At least it could be out with some water, with moving air around it, until we can get it
Or
to the
some
vet.
shade.
Or,
Well, they're all
whatever we
shaded
have.
now,
It's
for sure.
very temporary, and that's what we were trying to explain to him. It's an inexpensive solution. It helps. So what if you have a vicious dog, or you need this, and you need to separate
So,
them?
at that
He
point-
sat there at the table, and he did not say one word. I came to that city council meeting, and in front of Julie and I, shot down that thing and didn't even vote for us, after not even saying to our face,
Why?
why? Just tell me
Exactly.
why. If it were breaking the rules,
Then why didn't he say it
then
at the
help us
meeting-
get
at
to
our
what we
meeting?
can do.
well, what I'd like to see on our agendas is a report from the Animal Control Advisory Committee with recommendations to council.
That's what
And,
Thomasini is.
and they could forward that to.
But no, we
to
do
you.
that anyway. That's
No, but it's-
the items
but-
come up under animal control.
Right, but it should be coming, not as Alderman Tomasini presenting it to the council.
I think I
but
do
the
it 'cause he
advisory
doesn't do it.
committee
I don't think
bringing
they
it to the
can.
council.
That's-
We need to
no,
run
no,
that
no.
by Cassandra.
He's the chairman, and that's his role, is to bring it before the council, is to take their
That's what we were,
recommendations and
right,
bring
we
them
go
to the
over
council.
it, he makes notes, and then if we say we need it to go through the committee, then he's supposed to bring it, get it put on the committee, the
And
council's
if he
agenda.
doesn't get a co-sponsor, then I'll put it on there. Based on what is the recommendations
But
are
it-
coming out.
I mean, that's how we got the microchips. I mean, that's how, the things that we need, that has to
That's a great
be,
idea.
that's how we got that. That's how we, people voted for us to have the temporary thing. That's how we got that.
But it needs to be presented.
But at this point, there's nothing saying get rid of the cages, the temporary holding, whatever. What needs to be addressed is the length of time that an animal is kept there.
Agreed.
It needs to be put
Right.
in the ordinance.
Okay.
Okay, those are the kinds of things that need to be done to make it somewhat right.
So a
okay?
maximum hold time?
Exactly.
No matter
That's what you
where,
need to
whether
do.
it's at our facility
here,
or the
at
vet?
this-
At our facility,
Uh,
okay.
Not so
Oak
much
Hills?
concerned about the vet, he's got adequate facilities. But here, you need to put in the ordinance the number of days, and the hours, the time that an animal will be kept in that temporary enclosure.
Okay, so first
then
of all,
all that
hold
does
on, we're
is-
on item 5, we're not even talking about
Okay,
that. So what, item 5 is discuss recommendation for removal of him as chairman. So we need to move through.
If you want to do that, if you want to do that, I'm just telling you, you're going to have to find someone else on the council to go to the club, to go to the training, and then first agree to chair it,
Not
and then go to the
necessarily.
training.
Why do they have to go to the training?
Well, it'd be nice if they knew what they were talking about.
We have the state statutes.
We have an ACO right there.
We ha-
We have a
have-
DVD over there of everything they showed me.
But just know that I'm not willing to chair this committee. Not because, don't take it personal, okay? Don't take it personal. I'm concerned, that's all. I'm concerned, and as a council member, I'm concerned. But I'm also concerned as a citizen.
But why would you not be willing to help to be the chair?
Just, I think you should leave him there and let me work on it, but do what you think is right. It's up to you.
Well, I think with Mickey and my help, and then Chris as well, Mickey will make sure things get on the agenda that he may not agree with. But, I mean, if majority votes that you want something on the agenda,
Exactly, goes on the
it's
agenda.
got to go on there, whether he, and granted, hopefully he would be respectful enough to present it in a way that's not shot down because he doesn't agree with it. That's would be my
And
worry,
I
is that,
think
okay,
if
well,
you-
this is what they want, but,
If you present the facts, make it, it needs to be factual.
Yeah.
It needs to be supported by facts.
sure.
And everybody on the council at this point is pretty much open-minded. I mean, I don't think they're voting just for spite.
Mhm.
I think everyone is
Yeah, I agree,
yeah,
yeah.
so. So, yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do. And we got off on a lot of different
Well, we did.
different rails here, different tracks. We'll probably address some of the other things you have on your agenda. And I apologize for taking up all that time on that one thing, all right?
Okay, number 6.
Wait, we did
Wait,
not.
you gotta
What's
do
number
something.
5?
Well, what do I have to do with number 5?
I mean, well, do you
Well-
want to, you can remove it, you can pull it, you can vote on
You
it.
can
Motion
vote
to
on
do
it.
it.
You can do whatever you want to do on it.
Someone can make a motion to recommend, or you can just give them a chance and just pull
Well, it
it.
sounds like, I guess, I don't know, girls. Do you want to pull it, I guess? Because it looks like we have nobody else but him.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's crazy.
Someone else on the council will more likely get appointed. Somebody may volunteer. You gotta make this thing move. You all made a good point. You need to move, this thing needs to move forward. The whole animal control project needs to move forward.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
guy's
we're
got-
in month 5.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so
Do what?
let your conscience be your guide.
Oh.
Go for it.
It's been that all weekend. You have no idea.
And then, like he said, he can work on them, but it's going to take a while. Do we have that time?
No.
We don't have that
No,
time.
my house is real full. I don't have that time.
You can speak up. You can speak up. Are you saying no? You want me to tell them what I think I heard you say? Oh.
I make a motion for the removal of Alderman Thomasini
I
and
second
to
the,
appoint and to find a new chairperson.
I second the motion.
Does she take a vote on that too as well?
All in favor?
Unanimous.
Raise them up, don't be scared.
I'm not scared.
Agenda item, huh?
Okay, so that was number 5. Okay.
We'll get this going.
Okay, so now I can do 6?
Yes.
Discuss and/or possible action
Oops, on.
on a recommendation to City Council on amending ordinance 2019-131 to establish fees, fines, foster program, an adoption program with adoption fees, and a trap, neuter, and release program for cats.
So this is the current ordinance number, 2019-131.
Okay.
And what we noticed in our ordinance is if, let's say that Chris goes out, he picks up a dog on the street. And the owner says, oh, that's my dog. We don't have anything in our ordinance that defines a fee, a penalty, a fee, a fine, whatever you want
For
to
the
call
owner
it.
to get the dog back?
For the owner to get the dog back.
Oh, snap.
So we need to put that in there. So,
I think there is one little thing that they would pay what we paid.
yes, the
Something
way it
silly.
reads is, so just like the lady that we returned her dog. So we picked it up, we took it to Oak Hills, it was vetted, it was boarded. In the end, it was $175 or something like
Sissy.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Asian.
And so she gave you $100 and we billed her for the remainder, but that's all that we could do, is whatever fees that we paid, we were able to bill, that became the fee. But I want a penalty, I want a fine or a fee on top of that. Because not only, I mean, in our ordinance it says they have to be microchipped, they have to be vaccinated, they have to be spayed or neutered. All those things have to happen. And so, you know, one of the things that I talked about early on was I want to use a carrot and stick approach. If you want to play, you want to take care of your animals, you want to keep them on your property, you want to get them registered, you want to get them microchipped, you want to do all those things that are right, it's not going to cost you much. In fact, we may help with low-cost microchipping. We may try to bring in some low-cost vet services. But on the other hand, if you're going to let your dog roam and we have to pick it up and it's a nuisance and it's not fixed and it's not vaccinated and you can't prove all that, you know, cha-ching, 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 and that dog's gone. You're not going to get it back. It's going to cost you about $500. I mean, by the time it's all said and done. So that's what I'm trying to do, is figure out within our existing ordinance, what types of fees do we need to put in there to address animals that are picked up by animal control? And what would that be?
And can I voice a concern?
Sure.
Regarding that, is that, let's say it's early in the day,
Mm-hmm.
you pick Sissy up, get her to the vet, get her at least vaccinated, bring her back to hopefully get her adopted out. Might have to go get her spayed. You find the home, the lady comes and says, oh, that happens to be my dog, but I don't have the money. You're stuck with holding a dog until she comes up with the money, but you don't have a facility to hold it, so that doesn't matter. You take it back to Oak Hills and make them pay. You know, there's that fine line of, well, I don't have the money to pay you back. I want my dog.
Well, so I want to
city
hear
and
from you
The
ladies.
city of San Antonio won't do that. They give you a certain number of days, and if you don't claim that dog or you don't have the money, then that dog goes up for adoption.
Okay.
And
But we
you
don't,
know,
well, and that's
it's
another
not-
thing we'd have to have then is an
Well, then at
adoption
that point, we would,
program.
start looking for a rescue for it.
Well, couldn't we just?
After 3 days. I mean,
You have to
really,
legally hold the dog for 3
for
days.
3 days.
Yeah.
Without doing, well, we have to do whatever Oak Hill's parameters are, because that's what we're
Exactly.
using. You have to hold it for 3 days. After that 3 days and the dog has been posted on X, Y, and Z, owner has not come forward, it's free game. Say she comes forward, she needs to be able to pay or prove that her dog is vetted and follows the ordinance.
Exactly.
And then if she wants her dog back, then she needs to cover that fee, whatever our cost is at Oak Hills, in addition to whatever the
Whatever
fee,
fee that we
whatever
charge.
you
Well,
deem.
couldn't we just give her a court date and then give her the dog back in the meantime, and then when the court date happens?
No.
No?
This and you
Yeah,
you
no.
may agree or disagree. Any animal that gets picked up by the city goes nowhere until it's fixed. We cannot be letting
Yeah.
Rover out and doing his little dance, before the court date, and then we have, Roverettes
Well, then
running around.
in the ordinance, it needs to state the dog needs to be followed, up to date and, spayed or neutered or whatever according to the ordinance. We just need to establish what fee on top of that. Like, she's going to have to cover the vetting costs on top of her penalty fee of $150 or whatever, or $50, whatever it is.
And that's
But if you make
kinda
it too
where we're at.
much-
Exactly.
Then you
That
have a
creates
problem
a
with
problem.
them
That's
not
what the
being able
problem
to get
is.
their.
So either you don't charge them a penalty,
$25.
And perhaps we start at, I know I copied the Windcrest stuff. They've got, your first offense is this much, and if it gets out again, then, we've got you on record. And so, yes, you pay boarding and you pay the fine.
The fine.
And then the second time, again, you pay boarding and you pay the next higher
Higher
fine.
up fine.
Mhm.
And,
Hey,
no-
Nikki,
and-
under the animal control ordinance, there is a section that addresses fees and impoundment. But the wording could probably be, it talks about all of the impoundment, boarding, quarantine, whatever fees, but it says established by the enforcing agency. Could that not just be changed to as fees as incurred? And then it just, because it may be different. depending
Yeah,
on the
size, I
of
mean-
the
Well,
animal.
yeah.
I mean, Oak Hills
So
is one
could
thing.
we just
and-
amend that ordinance, section 11, fees and impoundment to read, and fees as incurred by the enforcing agency. And then it goes on and says, or as established by an interlocal agreement between another local government agency providing the cure.
Right.
So that would cover the vet services.
And,
that's
and
in
that
the
would be
contract.
true, but there needs to be over and above that. There needs to be
A fine.
a fine over and above it.
So not
For
just
his
the vet
time.
bill.
For his time to go set the trap,
Would
pick
that
up
be
the
covered under
animal.
impoundment? If he
Yes.
picks it up, it's impoundment, so
impoundment.
that's an impoundment.
But we
fee.
need a,
Exactly.
we need a dollar amount.
That's where we're at, is it? We'll call it an impoundment fee. Don't answer the phone.
That's why I said hello. I put it on do
Force
not
the
disturb.
parrot.
So an impoundment fee of, I mean, I don't want it to be so prohibitive out here that it creates another problem. But it can't, $5 is not gonna cut it. It's gonna,
I think anywhere from $25 to $50.
Hey,
gonna cover
25
gas.
the first offense and.
And then the
second.
next offense goes up another 25. The next offense goes up another
Another
25.
And
okay,
also,
good. And there is no fourth offense.
Fourth offense, it gets adopted.
I'm talking
out.
about the second one. That dog's mine.
Exactly.
You can't keep starting there.
in the ordinance, Section 9, letter C, it says on here that redeeming the dog or cat, have the dog or cat spay or neutered within 14 days after adoption, providing the animal is of the proper.
That's after
That's
adoption.
adoption.
That's only for adoption?
Only for adoption.
Okay. Because I understood.
And to be
Sounded
honest, when we
different to
start
me.
talking about adoption programs here, again, we're not offering anything that's not already fixed.
Right.
I mean, they're,
And I know that there are some cities that have that in place where, yeah, you can have your dog back, but I'm gonna come back. You have to
Well,
have it
that's what,
spay or
to me,
neutered.
that's what this says up higher. An owner whose dog or cat has been impounded or who wishes to redeem the dog must have the dog or cat vaccinated for rabies within 5 days
We'll take care of
after
that.
redeeming the dog or cat and have the dog spay or neutered within 14.
My problem
If you
with
let
that
it go
though,
without having it vaccinated, rabies and spay or neutered, it's not gonna happen.
so that's section
That's mine.
9C?
Yes, ma'am.
see, and that's my problem, because we don't have the manpower to go back in 14 days to check if that dog.
do
follow
We
up.
just don't have it. You know, we've
Exactly.
got
And
one
we
guy
don't wanna
doing.
do,
No.
that's
That's
not
just,
ideal.
it's a big
So that,
I
undertaking.
mean, we pick them up, we take them to Oak Hills, they get vetted there. Then if, you know, they're adoptable, they're sociable, all that, then they're gonna get fixed. So the person that says, oh, that's my dog. Well, okay, so that was a first offense, there's $25.
And
it
then
was
here's the
spayed,
vet
and here's
bill.
the vet, you know, here's how much it costs you to get your animal back.
Okay, and then I don't
and
have that
then-
money.
Well,
So you're gonna put it up for adoption?
we're gonna put it up for adoption. Now,
Okay. I
the
just wanna make
rescues
sure.
that these ladies are working with, specifically for dogs, what do you call it, the flight, what do you
Are
call
you
it?
talking about the transport?
The transport, that's the one. So if we had an animal like that had been vetted and spay-neutered and microchipped, that's a perfect animal for that transport, ready to go.
As long as it's not behaviorally challenged.
Exactly.
That's the main thing.
Well, and that's the
But
other
other than
thing
that,
is we've talked a little bit about
Assessing.
assessing the behavior on whether we're going to vet them or not, because there have been a couple that we've had to put down because they just,
not conducive
Yeah.
to handling.
And
Exactly.
that's why I agree with holding them, because the female that never could come around and continued after 2 weeks at the vet, continued to get more aggressive.
yeah.
I just said, go
Well,
ahead and put her down.
And the
If
other
she's
thing
getting
is,
worse.
we picked up
Chris.
picked up the dog up on Fawn Trail that had distemper,
Mhm.
the puppies down on Copper Canyon
Yeah.
with parvo.
We've had to make the call on some
Yeah.
of them. Some of them perfectly
So when
healthy.
they're sick like that, we're not rehabilitating them, although that's this side of the table. That side of the table has some other things they do. And in that case, we relinquish those animals. The city does not do an intake.
And they never come back into
They never
the
come
city.
back here. They have rescues that will deal with special animals that need.
And I think that's a
Medical.
concern of Alderman Thomasini, is that holding facilities turning into
No.
a shelter that the
No.
city is.
We
I'm
don't
just
want it
saying
either.
that's-
Poor
But,
Chris has got to deal
has
with
he
those
even
dogs.
been up
that's
there?
a concern. I'm just making.
Has he been there?
Just
His
one.
concern is what is that what?
Is that we're actually running it more like a shelter than a
Holding facility.
just a
No.
holding facility.
Like
No, if we hand it over to them to take over,
Well,
it's
that's
at,
not-
It's at
it's
our
not even in
house.
our facility anymore.
Yeah,
That's
no,
them.
it's ours.
That's
Yes.
like, okay, I'll take ownership of this
And they
dog.
have their own special
Yeah.
rescues that deal with.
That's no different than if I
unique-
would have picked that dog up off the street that I've been doing for the past 6 years I've lived out here.
Yeah.
It's all my,
Yeah.
you know.
But anything
But-
else that's picked up, Chris does intake on. So he has forms. They all get ID numbers. We can tell you where they're at, what happened to them, who's been vetted, what the disposition is on all of them. So he does all the intakes on the ones at the city. And the agreement that we have is with any of the rescues or the vets that they're working with, as long as it's one of our animals that has been intaked, then the city will pay the fee. So as an example, these 5 kittens are teenagers. They're more teenager cats, are going in on Thursday to be fixed. at $30 a pop. That's a hell of a deal right there. So Chris has the intake. We know which animals they are. She has the organization that's going to do it at the reduced cost, and Catherine's going to pay for it. Those animals are now ready to be adopted.
And aren't you taking 2 in the morning? He's taking, because we made 2 appointments, and Julie said go ahead and keep those appointments because they are hard to get, but we need 2 males to take at 6:30
Yeah,
in the morning.
I can talk to
I
him
got
about that in just a
2
little bit.
kittens.
Well, we
I
didn't.
have to go over
Two males?
that's something else. I have to go over the guidelines with that for those appointments with
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
So
back to this. So
The
25.
fees and the fines. I like the first offense, second offense.
I don't like a third offense.
We'll keep it at 2.
Third offense, they should surrender the animal.
Yeah, there is no third.
and we've had calls about, can you come get my dog? I don't want it anymore.
We don't do voluntary
Yeah,
surrenders
we don't
either.
do
We're
surrenders.
not gonna do them.
I mean, maybe in the future we can relook at that, but not right now. Okay, so
I mean, with a fee, and, it's like, well, yeah.
Right.
You can surrender it, but it's going to cost you.
it's going to cost a lot. Yeah,
Well, we aren't doing that because we have nowhere for them.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying to deal with the emergent situations, not with, hey, I adopted this dog, it sucks, I don't want it no more.
Yeah.
You
We've
laugh,
had that
girl.
happen.
I already have one like that.
And I don't have the ordinance in front of me. The fees, is that section 11 where that?
Fees and,
It's section 11 under the animal control ordinance.
Okay.
Fees and impoundment.
Yes, okay, so we'll do that. And then 9C, we were talking about,
That they're not to be released without being, this
So
one
we're gonna
says 14
change-
days and
we're going to change the wording on 9C to reflect that spay neuter, vaccine, chipping, all of that happens before
Release to owner.
release to owner, and and those fees paid by owner. Okay,
plus $25.
plus
For the
25 or 50
first
as it
50.
applies. Yeah. So spay neuter, chipping, vaccination, all done, paid for. Okay, so we'll get with Cassandra to put the proper wording. Okay.
Do I have to make a motion on that? What do I have to do for that?
You
Recommendation.
can, so the way we do it on the council is that, since we have multiple items here, we would make a motion on the first item. So on this one, make a motion to establish fees and fines and, something around, section 11 of the animal control ordinance, impoundment fee of $25.50. Then we make a motion on that and approve, and then we move to the next one. And then you could, when we're working with an ordinance, then we approve the ordinance overall as amended. We wouldn't have to do the overall here. Or we can go through each item and then make a motion.
Let's go through each item and then I can make a motion to accept all things.
Perfect.
Sounds
Or
better.
to make a recommendation.
Recommendation.
Yeah, because you're not.
I gotcha. The
Gotcha.
recommendation. Okay, so on the foster program, that's the next one, right?
Mhm. So, we had a document at our last meeting that talked about a foster program. I think really where we want, I think we do want to go with a sanctioned, if you will, foster program. It might take a little bit longer to do something like that, but in the meantime, I think one of the main concerns for the city was just a waiver for anyone who is doing fostering. So it would protect the city and the individual who is doing the fostering if something were to happen with that animal. So I think that's kind of where we're at with that part right now. And to be honest, my door's not being knocked down with people who want to foster. How about you?
I know.
yeah, no.
Out of the 4 people you gave me, I got 1 taker.
Oh, well,
That's better than nothing.
It's
super
better than
helpful.
nothing. Yeah.
Super great people. They're on it.
okay,
So-
that's good.
And how we're doing the foster program right now is I'm looking for a rescue to sponsor, because we have no foster program. To have a foster program, you got to have a coordinator, you got to have this, all these things. That's a whole other
Right.
separate thing. So what I did was I got with San Antonio Feral Cats, and if I found a foster for any of those cats that we picked up, they were sponsoring it. So what these people did was fill out the San Antonio Feral Cat application, and now they're San Antonio Feral Cat cats, and they're paying for the vetting, the adoption. These people just have to feed them and care for them, because we don't have that. You know, I'm not, you know, that's a huge, huge undertaking. For sure, I would like the community to be involved in, but because we don't have that, and there's only a few of us, and we're still trying to figure everything out, that's what we did. So that's where some
So
of the
in
cats
the
went.
event of an emergency like this last time, would a waiver for a temporary foster
If somebody were
person
to
suffice?
so like if I came up and said, "Hey, I'll take those 5 kittens. I'll foster them." Okay, that's great. I just
we
need
need
you to fill out
Yeah.
this form.
So we don't have to
So
have
I
an actual...
I found a volunteer application that could work as our foster application too, that I liked. I found it online that, I mean, we can adjust it to whatever, but I liked that it was multiple pages, wrote down, you know, everything that it covers, euthanasia, what happens when if, you know, the pet bites you, and it has a lot of agreements. If that could work as our,
message.
yeah, for sure.
So it'll
Our-
also cover like this, the dog I fostered bit my dog. It's in here that you understand that there's a possibility that this could happen and you're not
The
going to hold
waiver.
us liable.
Right.
May I make a copy of this?
Oh, please, yeah.
Because I can also change
Well, there was a
some
lot.
things,
You can change anything on there. I just liked it because it had a lot of information, and it wasn't just
yeah, it's
what's your
not all
name,
just,
what are you gonna
yeah,
do.
A lot of it is
Yeah.
the waiver itself, and then the rest is rules of conduct,
easy. It's only
and
10
volunteer
pages.
information.
Right, it's simple. It's only a couple
simple.
pages.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
And a lot of it goes back with them, the rules of conduct and stuff.
So are we thinking that the application, along with a waiver, is kind of how we would set up a new, okay.
And I think each one of us should fill one out because
I think
we've
so.
all taken animals.
Exactly.
That way, there's no gray area.
And then I can provide you with the supply and in case you get some, you know, after I look through it all, maybe put in some sandy, because it says hopeful tales.
Well, you could change it to whatever. I just like the
but
outline.
then I can print you a
That's another
supply
thing
of
that
them.
we're doing. Anyone who's fostering, the city pays for the food and the
That way,
litter.
we can, if you want to make notes.
Speaking of, wait a minute, that's 2 cans, Fancy Feast.
You want one check now, or?
You just collect them because I gotta go get some more litter.
Okay.
And this one is for,
And just to
Yep,
make
this is
sure
one.
that Alderman Tremblay knows that any of these that she has submitted, I
I'm
only
not
pay
being
her the
reimbursed for
subtotal.
tax.
She pays the taxes.
I'm eating the tax part of it.
You want me to wait?
Yeah, just wait. Because I gotta go get some more, so I'll bring you another receipt.
Okay. And of course, all that's kept.
What I'd like to see is some containers, you know, like 1-gallon paint buckets or food buckets or something that we could use to put litter in, you know, so that when somebody's fostering, you can say, okay, I need, 3-day supply or whatever.
Yeah.
And already have the food and the litter and all that already separate, buy in bigger quantities, but break it down into smaller manageable
And
pieces.
just hand it off.
And just hand it off that way.
Have a supply here and then maybe a
Yeah.
supply with,
And I know you went
Lynette or
to
whatever.
Sam's, was it? And bought, some bigger quantities of stuff.
cat food and litter.
Yeah.
That's another thing I want to look into later is a Sam's card. He used mine to make it tax exempt.
That's a good idea. Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about a foster program, which is going to be an application/waiver, basically for right now. Okay. And then an adoption program with adoption fees. So, the 3 of you that have worked in this space before, how does that work? Because again, when we offer an animal up for adoption, it's going to be vaccinated, it's going to be fixed, it's going to be microchipped, it's going to be healthy, it's going to be ready to go. All that costs money. So are we looking to recoup all of the money that we spent? And does that make it cost prohibitive for people to want to participate in the adoption program?
Especially since most of the animals that we are picking up from here are not super adoptable animals. You're looking at a lot of
those
hard-
kittens are pretty cute.
Well,
No,
I'm just
it's like
saying, but I mean, like the
dogs.
dogs, the kittens, that's
the
one
kittens.
thing. But for dogs, it's super hard to place some of these dogs. I mean, like I can't even get them to a rescue.
How does
Right.
the city do it through their animal control facilities? How do they, does the city supplement it?
Yes, they eat it. Oh, but see, but they they have a vet on staff. I mean, they have their own veterinary clinic. They do buy in bulk. They spay and neuter,
Lots of donations.
donations for their food and litter and stuff. Since they operate in such a volume, they can offer that $85 adoption fee, and then,
$25
or then when it's not getting adopted, they bop it down to $25, or they run a special of $5 Friday. They eat. Most rescues or whatever, you're going to eat
It's
your
not
fee.
a profit center by any
gosh,
stretch.
no.
Yeah.
That's why if we were to have a facility, a lot of the things that get done at the vet could be done on hand to save money. Like,
So we need to look at, as council, we need to look at the average cost of
vetting an animal
vetting an animal.
to establish a fee.
And then the average cost of holding an animal for, and let's pick a number of days when you decide how many days we're going to keep that animal, whether it's here, whether it's at the veterinarian that we
Right.
contracted with. And if we come up with a number, then we supplement it somehow and put more money into the animal control budget at the end of the year or for the next year, and we supplement each adoption. If we say, okay, it's
On average, I
$100,
mean, you're looking at $100. It's going to cost you. If you pick up a stray animal off the street and you have to get it vetted, regardless if I get a discount at Brooks,
Right.
including the food or whatever, you're looking at $100.
Oh, easy.
Every dog I pick up is safely $100 for me.
Well, I was going to say.
that's not boarding.
Yeah.
No,
with
because
the-
they go to
with-
my house.
With
I mean,
boarding,
or I work at a vet office. It's easy for me, but I mean,
boarding,
Yeah.
bedding, spay, neuter,
Chip.
$200 per unit per animal.
And you don't want to do any of that until you know
Until
it's
you
going,
know
until
that
you've
it's-
got a home, because once you've
Well, that's what
done
I'm
that,
saying.
there's
We
no.
that's how the
there's no,
city
now
does
we
it.
need
They
to
pick up a
decide.
stray.
Right. And it-
They go. So when the city picks up a stray, it goes to the back. They do what is called the parvo test. If the dog eats a meatball, doesn't have parvo, goes. Yeah. So it goes into.
They haven't eaten my meatballs.
It goes
I wouldn't
straight.
either.
If it has no visible signs of distress, even then, still it passes or whatever. It gets zero vetting. It goes straight into the kennels. Okay, and then once a rescue pulls it or whatever, then it'll get vetted. 100%. It'll get fixed. It'll get its shots. It'll get whatever. But they don't spend $0 on that dog until it's got a solidified answer. So, but I mean, they have a place to hold them.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
but that's why there's always parvo, distemper, kennel cough because of that. Because they get
They're not
nothing.
getting vetted.
Right, and you're putting, I mean, they've gotten a lot better, but have I walked the kennels there and see a dog with a gash on its face or covered in ticks or whatever?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and see, that's the challenge that we have with Oak Hills is, they're taking our unvaccinated, unvetted animals.
And willing to do so, luckily.
I know, but we can't be contaminating their
Yeah.
facility just because, so we do the basic vetting.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think they do all of that. And then they just stop
I didn't
it
know they
as.
were giving them meatballs in.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Well, I'm just saying that's how it works there.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Not
So
that we
that'll
have to
be
do that.
something that the council could look at, is somehow supplementing an adoption
We're gonna have to.
program.
I think a lot of people, though, that might be surprised, like the lady that wants to adopt the shepherd you have, if she turned around and said, sure, that'll be $250.
It's more than that.
Yeah,
But it'd
it'd be
like
like,
we
oh,
talked
forget
about
it.
before. In my heart as an animal person, I can't see the dogs that we're working on, getting homes for, going right back out there into the community.
No.
Because,
I can't.
as I've said before, we can probably count on, 2 hands, maybe, the number of people that truly, you know, are taking care of their
Exactly.
animals
Yeah.
completely the way they
Responsible.
should, responsible.
Right.
And
Yeah, it is hard to think of it going, no matter who it goes to in the
Exactly.
community.
I mean,
we
the
still
rescue-
have to provide. I mean, we're not saying that we don't want to provide
No,
that
no,
to the
no.
community. However, all of these people that have lived out here have lived out here this long, and
With
look
no
how big the
rules.
problem is.
Exactly.
I can't foresee them wanting to take on more that they have to pay
Yeah.
for.
But if they paid that much, then
But
they're
you never
probably gonna
know.
be
People that we know or
That's what I was
may
about
want
to
to, or
say.
you know,
Exactly.
your
Do a
family
lot.
member may really want that beagle or that pit bull or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Needs to be an option, but
I think, yeah, the more you pay, the more chances are you're gonna have a fenced yard and
right.
Keep
Oh,
it
well,
indoors
sure. That's how
and you-
SNFSA does it. I
and
mean, their
that's how,
adoption fees
you
are
know,
no joke.
And the
Yeah.
rescues do that. The adoption fees are very high, and you're checked out. You know,
Yeah,
some-
like FBI
You're
style.
vetted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and some of them go to your home
Yeah.
and make sure that you know your
my daughter
home.
does that for
Yeah.
Hug Rescue of Austin.
Exactly.
She's a home inspector, and
Uh-huh.
she takes her dog to make sure that the people are. Yeah, her dog don't like you're not getting a good rating.
So yeah, some of them are very.
So we
Yeah, they
we
are.
can talk, I guess, in the future about an adoption program and adoption fees. I don't think
Oh,
we're
for
ready.
sure.
I don't think we're
I
ready for
don't-
that.
I don't
now.
need a facility to
Okay.
hold them for that.
And then the last thing had to do with the trap neuter release program for the cats. Now, Julie and Lynette and I went to a TNR class Sunday.
Yes.
Sunday. And so we are now part of the program, which entitles us to vouchers. We still need traps. We have some traps here. What I think we need are more traps. I think the city needs to buy more traps, and specifically the ones that they talked about. The
True Catch.
The True Catch.
Do they not provide? I thought through
They
the class.
do.
So if
Mm-hmm.
you take the class, it allows you to use San Antonio feral cat traps with a check deposit, and you are eligible to get vouchers for the 151 facility where it's free. Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays, you go wait in line, take your in a trap only, trapped feral cats, and they'll fix your cats for you.
But you
And then you
have
give
to
them the
give
trap
the
back.
deposit for the
The
trap,
trap,
and the
oh.
deposit is basically the price of the trap.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, they don't cash a check or
They don't
anything.
cash it
but-
unless you don't bring it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see. So they give you the trap. That's the trap you take it back to get vetted or
Yes.
spayed and neutered.
Hold the cat until it's 2 or 3 day hold time till it's recovered, and then you can either keep using it or you take the trap back from whatever location you
Oh,
picked it
okay.
up at.
So you don't have to keep giving them a check every time you want to use.
Oh, no, you can hold on to it.
because they give
Mhm.
you the cat back in the trap, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. Especially if
That
it's
cat
feral.
stays in that trap until
Yeah.
it's out and then it's fixed.
I
And goes
did-
back
They
in
do
there.
laparoscopic
I did-
surgery in there.
Message my contact at San Antonio Feral Cats, and I got a name that I can give you, and we can email her, so I can use San Antonio Feral Cats resources. All those little handy handouts.
Exactly.
Because they don't want to come out here, like I told you.
I know.
Because of the people, but I'm willing to have. They're concerned about how many people are going to show up. So if they get these volunteers to come and waste their time, mind you, it's mostly women in their 70s.
Yeah.
And so if you waste their time, can you imagine how that's going to go?
Yeah.
Not well.
Well, but the
So,
other thing is,
I can give the class.
We learned enough at
wow.
the class that the goal, I think, from that was to start our own here. We're going to have the agreement with Brooks, so we'll be subsidizing.
You make sure they take feral cats, though.
They do.
They do.
take-
Okay.
They do. Yes, we've already checked on that, and they take 10.
I think, yes, because they're a humane society,
Yeah.
so their cap is at 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, a day.
it's a
not
day.
from one. Not from one.
No, no, no.
Not from
No.
one.
10
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah, so you better get there early, and then, but at Brooks, it's a fee.
It is a fee.
$20.
But yeah, I mean,
But I mean, $20 to
20
save that
bucks.
cat that's
exactly.
Yeah. terrorizing.
Because that's a
Exactly.
long drive over to
I got
151.
one roaming around my. He's
well, that and
doing
we
the
could
parameters
we
wrong.
could fundraise or find people
Exactly.
willing to sponsor someone to help with the feral if they don't want to do the work.
Yes.
I mean, we can make a program out of it
And
for
that's
sure.
that's what I wanted to do. So if we had more traps available, then my goal kind of from this was we have Chris, people that trap them, we get them to Chris. If we had a place to hold them, it'd be awesome. So if they could hold
That's-
them overnight, to deliver them in the morning, to take them down there, and then they pick them up, bring them back, we pick them back up take
Yeah.
Well,
care
and
of
it's
them
always
for the
going to be a
24
variable
hours.
because you're not going to know who's going to trap. I mean,
Exactly.
you may not catch a cat.
Well, I know.
And you can
I know
only-
where
if-
some of
if
the
Brooks
concentrated areas are.
only takes 10, you can only roll in there with 2 cats.
Yeah, I know.
Because if you roll in there with 5 cats, they're going to tell you,
Yeah.
get back in line.
No, I understand.
So, and then the
But I mean,
other
2 at a
problem
time.
is they only do it Tuesday through Saturday, right? So let's say someone says, hey, you gave me that trap, I got a cat, and it's Friday, 5:30. So we have to hold it till Tuesday in the trap?
They do
But-
Saturday.
If they do, I don't
Well,
know.
no,
I don't know the guidelines
Tuesday
for
through
Brooks. I don't
Saturday.
use them.
So, but Chris doesn't work Saturday. I mean, someone's
well,
gonna have to.
Well,
They-
then,
okay, so the
then
trap-
don't set the trap.
They'll set the trap. That was
Only
that
set
was
them
part of the
Monday
training.
through-
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the training that we
Oh,
learned.
okay, so
You can't be trapping if
tell
there's no one
the
to take
person,
them.
if you put a trap on someone's yard and tell them, do not set this trap on a Friday.
Right, we're gonna have to have
Then,
we're gonna have
yeah,
to go over the
okay.
parameters.
Yeah.
And
The training was really good. There was some good stuff. The bottled water was, to me,
the drawstring.
the drawstring was perfect. Because
Never
I always
works.
wondered, how do you get that last cat? So what I think we can do is, do we need to buy more traps?
Yes.
And I think she said that they run about $75. Now, what we have at our advantage is we may be able to purchase those off the Bear County contract. They may be cheaper.
I can find. Sometimes it's just cheaper.
They're called
to-
True Catch. You don't want the
True Catch.
spring-loaded traps. No. You want,
TRU
yes,
and the
ma'am.
catch.
Yes.
And so, how many do you think we should buy?
Well, if you're using Brooks exclusively, I would have no more than 10 traps. 5 maybe, because you can only take a couple cats at a
can only
time.
take a
At a
few at a
time.
And you don't want to have traps out all over the place. 1, not get them back. 2, people are going to trap all these cats. And once you trap a cat,
You better do
okay,
it.
you better be ready to do
You have
something with
someplace
it.
it's gotta
Not
go.
just trap it. Oh, well, I can't take it and then let it go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to
That's
work.
not ideal.
So we could, if you want to make a motion for that, to identify how many that the city needs to purchase.
And we already have 2, we said?
But I don't know that they're True Catch. These other ones are really, they're powder coated. They're big.
So,
So
the
they're as
ones
big
you
as-
have rings like the big
the
dog
ring
traps.
ones?
Yeah.
That's a True Catch
Oh.
dog trap.
We have 2 of those.
Dog traps.
Dog
Dog
traps.
traps.
but
What do
not
you
the
have for
cat.
cats?
I think
Is it the
they're more.
rings?
I think
I
they're
think
more
they're
spring
spring-loaded.
loaded.
I think they're spring
I think
loaded.
they're
They are.
spring-loaded.
Yeah.
Spring-loaded, yeah.
Yeah.
You want
'cause I think they're
my
more
my
loaded
True
traps.
Yeah, some of yours, just smaller.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we don't have
it's
any
there.
of those.
Yeah.
We don't have any of those then.
Yeah.
Just
The spring loaded
spring-loaded.
are dangerous.
Yeah,
Like
they
they
are.
can pop their tail and.
Owie.
Kill the kitten that's following along.
Ugh,
Yeah, not good.
I can see that happen.
Yeah. Okay, so y'all just decide how many you want and,
Well, I'm gonna do the. Can I do it all in one?
yes.
Oh my gosh, I have to figure out what to say.
You could just basically kind of like make a motion to recommend to council to amend blah, 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 and then add the number, the dollar
So we're not-
amount.
The dollar
Well, we have the fees and fines.
Yeah.
We have foster program.
foster program. That's the waiver.
We took out adoption.
Yeah,
And we're talking about TNR.
and then so many true
Okay.
catch, and then.
I make a
second.
motion to establish the fees and fines for the. What's the ordinance?
2019-131.
2019-131 to establish fees and fines for return of animal.
We have first
First
and
amount.
second offense.
For a first offense and second offense.
And they are what?
25 for first offense and 50. That's what you put, right?
Yes.
50 for second offense. Is that it for that one? Then do I do the next one?
Yes. We did talk about also changing the wording.
Right. We need to make an amendment on the
To the animal control.
ordinance.
On section 11 for the.
9C.
9C. What was that one?
9C.
And 11.
Well,
9C and
11 was
11.
for, yes, you're right.
For 9C and ordinance 11.
Section 11.
Section 11.
11B.
B.
Yeah, and, okay, so here's.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
Confusing. I know it's real confusing.
Are you writing it down?
So what we were talking about on 11 was amending
To change.
to change it so it reads
from
as fees as
established
incurred.
To incurred.
Okay, from
And
fees to
then,
incurred?
and then adding the impoundment fees. So that was one part. And then 9C was to change the wording to reflect that the spay, neuter, chipping, vaccination, all of that has to be done and paid for by the owner before the animals return to the owner. So those two are part of the ordinance amendment.
Okay, so redo that. So you're making a motion to recommend to council.
This is way too hard. Okay. Making a motion to recommend to council to establish the impoundment fees. First offense 25, second offense 50. And then amend 11 or B
to include, to reference fees incurred.
to amend 11B to reference the fees incurred from pet impoundment.
And 9C.
And then 9C.
And to amend 9C. Which one was that?
That's the one to require all of the vaccinations
Oh.
prior to release.
To amend 9C to have pet fully vetted before release to owner.
Spay, neuter.
Spayed, neutered, microchip, and up to date on vaccines.
Yes.
Okay.
And fees paid for the services.
Yeah,
And fees
done
paid.
and paid for by the owner.
Fees incurred for pet will be paid by owner.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the last item
The foster
was-
program?
The foster.
No, TNR.
Well, we didn't
We
get the
we
foster.
had to do the foster waiver.
Application and,
Oh, yes, yes,
Waiver?
yes. Yes, yes, yes.
okay, so part of your motion could be creating a foster program to include an application and waiver.
Do I have to say a recommendation?
Recommend.
Recommend to council to create a foster program.
A recommendation to council to incorporate a foster program with a waiver and application release.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then TNR.
Foster and volunteer program.
Uh-huh.
Got it. Foster and volunteer.
And
Okay.
volunteer.
And then a recommendation to the council for our TNR program for cats for the purchase of 5 more True Catch cat traps, small animal traps.
5? Okay.
5.
Second?
Second.
Michelle seconded.
All in favor?
Unanimous.
Did everybody vote?
Mm-hmm. It was unanimous.
That was a tough one. Okay.
Okay, so number 7. Discuss and/or possible action on quarantine guidelines and procedures. So when we picked up all the cats, since they were one family, we were able to move the cats around, like change them from crate to crate, whatever we needed to do, provided on behavior and space as it allowed. I just wanted to go over that we were allowed to do that because they were one family. Had we had an instance where the neighbor also had this issue, we would not be able to mix said families together. They have to be kept separate.
Okay.
And well, I guess that's hard to. I don't know what to say. So the procedures we would need to establish a protocol for that. Provided if we had a facility, there would have to be a protocol for that. I just wanted to touch base on that, so because we were all up there handling the cats, so everybody knew.
Yeah, I knew for those cats, I understood the whole family thing. So
Yeah.
And I also understand from the state guidelines that we do have to keep them separated. Can't mix male or female. Talking about dogs.
Right. Right. Oh yes, you can't keep unaltered animals, male, females. Like we can only put the males together, or we
Exactly.
separated the females, so there was no,
Yeah.
And that's strictly if they're
Procreation.
unaltered.
yeah.
Fixed animals, you can go ahead.
Well, you
if
should
they were-
never, right, you should really never house male and female animals together without supervision, but especially if they're
Separate family.
Uh,
Unaltered.
unaltered, yeah.
Yeah.
And along those guidelines with the quarantine, when you've got a litter of kittens and a mama, and you've got an extra like we had the last time, the babies that they found,
Oh, yeah, that
you have to be
orphan.
careful about putting that baby with that mama without testing or.
Right, so because when like we
Yeah.
put them together, so like when if that kitten would have had any kind of discharge or any coccidia or whatever could be transmittable to the mom and babies, that's always an issue. And then when you do a combo test to test for FIV or FELV, you're gonna have to do two now. You have to do the mom, and then now I'm gonna have to do that singleton over here because we put them together.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Which I'm fine. Ideally we need to, unless it was like a newborn kitten, it absolutely had to be with the mom, and we were using it as a surrogate, and that goes for puppies too. That
That's different.
you can't be mixing them together.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and this one could have eaten on its own. I think it was already eating dry food.
Yeah,
so
she's
I
fine.
could have
It's way
kept
bigger
it-
than the other cats.
Yeah,
Just have to be careful and assess.
I could have kept it alone without nursing because it was nursing on the.
As long as they have teeth. So say we pick up a kittens, especially, we're going to talk about cats. So if we pick up a kitten and it's got teeth, that cat needs to lap out of a bowl, kitten milk, or make it gruel with kitten formula or water.
And canned food.
Because if you start offering it a bottle right away, trying to get it off the bottle, super hard. So if it's got teeth, offer it wet food, and if it eats on its own, then it doesn't need them all. But I mean, in this instance, we had to because we had these cats. But
No, I meant the
Right.
5 that I had here. The
right,
mother that
yes, I have
adopted.
those because the foster that I had lined up through San Antonio feral cats fell through. So now
Oh,
I have
you
them.
have
through,
them? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh my gosh.
So you have
So-
the orphan and. Oh, okay. So did you want to pull that one until we have a facility, or to discuss it?
I don't know.
I would say that, there's plenty of guidelines in the health and safety code.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So,
Is-
and it's pretty, and it talks about cats and ages of the cats and the facility and how it's supposed to be constructed, solid walling between if you put a rabies infected animal in that facility, and I mean, it just goes on and on. This is the stuff that Alderman Tomasini harps on, but.
No, I'm aware of those things. I'm aware of the
Yeah.
guidelines. I just wanted to go over with them.
Probably
Like,
just
Right.
get Cassandra,
For
right,
For our
to
benefit.
draft an ordinance, if you want to do it, and or resolutions, to just go with the state mandated requirements.
I think in our ordinance, we do reference the specific title and code that applies to, because that's what we have to operate under.
Yeah, and I don't think Lynette was trying to incorporate anything different. It
So
was
do-
just
do-
bringing
do
up
we need
a
to
reminder.
actually
Yeah.
write the book over again, or if
No.
it's in the ordinance? whatever.
No.
No.
We're just talking about kind of a
Refresher.
General.
M&M here on what we've been through.
Yeah.
Although you
For
are
itself.
supposed to have an SOP that is specific to that structure, whenever we get a structure.
right?
Yeah.
No, you have to have whatever the following the guidelines.
Exactly.
Yes, there has to be operating procedures for that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so no action on number
No.
7?
Yeah.
No.
Just discussion.
Okay.
The discussion and action on guidelines and procedures for cleaning and disinfecting kennels. That was, I sent to go over the disinfectant that we ordered, the rescue disinfectant that I sent to Catherine to order so we can
And I
clean.
think it's supposed to come in this week.
Oh, okay, so it's already been ordered.
Already did it. So this is what we ordered. I just printed out so everybody could see what it was and what it kills. what we're gonna use to clean
And
the kennels
actually,
and
if I
clean
remember
up after.
correctly, because this came in a gallon, and then they had an additional one. So it came in a gallon, and then you could buy a smaller bottle. But none of those bottles had squirt.
No, you
Now,
have to dilute it into your own spray
So
bottle.
what I did was I bought 3 bottles of a different brand that does the same thing, and when we finish those, we can continue to use the
Why didn't you
spray.
just buy spray bottles?
Well, because I wanted them filled with something, so I.
spray bottles are cheap.
Well, then that's, so what did you order?
Let me go remind myself. No, I got that big jug of what
Okay.
you said, but the other one was also. Let me see.
And so let's talk about cleaning and disinfecting kennels. So my routine is, in the morning, the kittens are horribly messy.
Do they stink?
Gosh, they're so cute, but my gosh, they're messy. But every morning we pull out the tray and we empty the litter box, and then I get Windex and paper towels and I wipe it all down, clean it all up, put everything back in there again, you know, fresh litter and fresh water. I wash their bowl with soap and water for their water because they like to go poop and then go get in the water. They're horribly messy. So that's a twice a day thing. The teenager, he's much better behaved. Same thing though, we pull everything out and clean it and put it all back together and put it back in there.
So the disinfectant that I sent to Catherine is that it says on there.
Rescue RTU.
It's what we use at the vet office. It kills like the parvovirus or panluke or you have to clean surfaces anywhere the animal touches. You have to clean that
I
surface
take
with
it
that.
back. I bought the easier ones to handle, the squeeze bottles. I bought 12 of those. It was a 12 pack. I didn't buy that gallon one. And then the other one was called that has actual spray bottles. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so with this one,
You bought it from Amazon?
I can return them if they won't work, and just buy some spray bottles. 99-cent store. Or
So-
sitting there and
so but with this one, is this meant for animals or you just bought it because it kills germs?
I thought it was meant for.
So with the it kills those things, but the rescue stuff I sent you, it kills the like salmonella, staph, canine distemper,
Wow.
all those things first. And so when we get the rescue stuff, it comes with directions on how to dilute it, but we need to make a label to go on the spray bottles.
Okay. I might send these 3 back.
That's why. So if you're gonna, there's plenty other things you can use.
Amazon sells empty spray bottles.
Oh, do they? Damn. But I got like
But with this
4
one,
packs.
I like the rescue one because you can, it can sit. Like you let it sit, and if you need to let it dry because an area has been contaminated with something, say like how my house got contaminated with parvo, that's what I had to do. You know, you have to spray everything down. It
spray
has
it,
to
you can let it
sit.
sit.
But you have to use something that's going to kill the virus.
Can you, do you have to wipe it back out, or is it safe
It
to
depends
let
on
sit dry and
So the dilutions are different. So if you make it diluted to where you're going to let it sit, you don't have to wipe it off. But if the dilution is different, if you're going to use it as a cleaning base to wipe out the kennels after each animal.
Oh, okay. Well, these were only $20 for a 4-pack. We could use it for cleaning bathrooms.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, it kills germs, but whatever you order, it needs to be able to kill the pet-related viruses.
Yeah, this is mainly for it says non-porous surfaces, walls, floors, but it doesn't say. What's a rotavirus? Influenza.
That's
Herpes.
You know what the
stomach
rotavirus is?
Oh, Lord.
pretty bad.
It kills MRSA,
Not skin.
Nothing kills MRSA.
PRSP, herpes, influenza.
That's more for people stuff, like in the
Okay.
hospital.
Yeah, that's what it says. Nursing homes and
Okay.
hospitals. Okay.
Okay, so I just wanted to
Number 8.
discuss that.
So no action on number
No,
8.
there's no action because,
Discussion.
Just discussion.
Mhm.
Okay. You got your notes, Chris, on this next item?
Okay, so number 9, discuss, more of a discussion than an action on setting up appointments with the protocol for Brooks Spay and Neuter Clinic. So we wanted to touch base on that. Getting appointments for them are always going to be far out. So if you can get an appointment, take the appointment.
If you get an appointment anywhere with anyone,
Just
No
get
matter
it.
how far out.
That's right, yes.
within the state.
Yeah, because what if next month we pick up 2 cats that need to
Exactly.
go? We have an appointment already.
Yeah.
But what if
So,
we don't have it? Then we have to remember to turn around and cancel it, or we just don't show up?
oh gosh, no.
Lord
You have
knows
to
I know
cancel
that we
it.
can fill a
Okay.
spot.
Or we
Yeah.
can give it to somebody.
Or you can use it for somebody in the community. Hey,
trade.
we have an appointment. However,
Oh,
we want to
okay.
do that. We can use it to our advantage. But if you make an appointment for 2 male cats, and that's what you sign up for, you need to keep it for 2 male cats, unless you're going to email the day before. Because male cats take 5 minutes, female cats take 15 to spay or neuter. So if you make that appointment and you show up with 2 female cats, the likelihood of your next appointment is going to be slim.
Yeah.
Because you stuck it to them. Because they are,
They're-
they work
yeah.
on a schedule, and they take so many animals every day.
Like
So
an
you gotta-
assembly line?
That's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
So if you get an appointment, like the day we picked up those cats, or you had to take them, and the first thing you need to do after, they have their decompression 3-day hold, we need to set their appointment to get them, if I can't get them somewhere. At least that way we can put them back outside, or we can, especially for cats, dogs, it's different because they're at the vet. But I mean, as far as like when we have a facility or a dog goes into foster, if you make an appointment or an owner, we need to get the dog back to the owner, and we're not going to use Oak Hills to provide the services, and we're going to use Brooks. You need to make that appointment and keep it.
So it would be nice if Oak Hills would honor something pricing wise.
Rescue pricing
Or
discount.
spay and neuter, because in my mind, it does not make sense to house dogs at Oak Hills, to make an appointment at Brooks to
Oh,
get
You have to go
fixed,
take them back to
to
Oak
take
Hills.
them back to Oak Hills.
Sure, that's
cost-
something you need to
just
take
do it
up
all
with
Costing
the
there.
gas, just do it at,
Yeah.
But Oak Hills is probably going to be very high.
He will offer us rescue pricing. We're working on him. I think what happened with him was he got scared off with the contract that the city attorney drew up. It was overwhelming. He's a country doctor. Handshake pretty much is how he operates. And he has a son who's a lawyer. So, yeah, that did not go by very well. So I think that we can massage him a
I
little
think what
bit.
he's giving us is
Is
an
a risk.
overall discount of like,
Your services
25%, I
right
think.
on the invoice. It was like a 20 discount on your total price.
So
Yeah.
could you check with them and find out for spay and neuter, can they send us a price schedule specific to us? Rescue pricing. And let's just see how that compares with what we're getting from Brooks,
It's not going to.
Oh,
But I mean,
But at least, well, we have to be,
for right now, it's what we have.
yeah, but we need to
Right.
know
That
from a council
list.
perspective
Sure.
where we're spending,
What
how
you're-
much we're spending.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And what happened
What
to
is that?
Eason?
that was that one that y'all gave us.
Contract.
that's
I
okay.
don't know what happened with
Okay,
Eason.
I was about ready to go look for mine. So, feline, canine spay, less than 10 pounds, $70.
Oh.
And this is, I think, their,
Oh, is that the one from,
That's from
Okay.
yeah, and it's just
No,
says
this
it's
is
their
Brooks.
price
Oh.
group. This is, okay, no, this is,
I thought this was
I
okay.
think
Is- oh, is
Oak
it?
I
Hills.
think it is
It
okay.
is.
Yeah,
This
the
is
one
Oak
that y'all
Hills.
gave us.
But I think this price list is just regular, and then we
probably
get like 20 or 25% off the total. So Chris and I have figured out that the dogs out here average between 20 and 40 pounds. So you're looking anywhere from $80 to $95.
For spay neuter.
Well, and that's a
It's a male.
canine. spay, where's a canine neuter? 74 to $84 for a male.
And what was it at Brooks?
I don't
20
recall.
bucks? Did you say 20? We
What?
said 20
For what?
Brooks?
For Brooks, I can't
For
remember off the
animals?
Difference between cats and dogs, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
All I know
remember
is when
20 was
we,
the cats, I thought.
when we made the appointment, it asks to put in a coupon code, and that's where we put in Sandy, which was
Oh,
ours.
that's right.
And it came to 0 because then after we're done,
They will bill you after.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, because when he first tried it, it was asking for a credit card. So then I didn't realize that Sandy would have been the coupon,
Oh,
but I put it in and then changed it to 0.
Well, that
and
way
then
you
it
can
didn't
pay-
go
right,
to the it didn't
right.
go to the payment page.
right.
So we'll pay. So right now I don't know how much it'll be. This will be our first time for male cats.
Yeah. But what we want to talk about are dogs, because we're housing dogs at Oak Hills. And to be honest, if it's $20 difference, it's probably worth it,
well, 'cause
because
they're already
the
there.
time that he's got to go pick it up, take it down there, then go get it, take it back,
Yeah.
that's not a good
No.
utilization.
Or if we had our own facility.
It'd be a whole different thing, and we could bring in a visiting vet, and we have all kinds of other options.
Oh, and when you have you gone to Brooks to take any animals yet?
Not yet.
Go with your patience and some coffee.
Breakfast?
I would eat beforehand
early.
and get there early.
Early.
There's going to be a long line out the door to check in. FY.
Every time I've done it, they say 7:30. I'm there by 7. First time I was there at 7:10. It was too late.
Right.
But if I get there by 7 or just a few minutes before 7, that's a good time. And it still takes, you won't be out of there till probably 8:30.
So I guess I'll see you sometime tomorrow.
No, you're not gonna tell me
At all?
It goes fast once you get checked
Yeah.
in. I mean,
They
it goes
actually have
fast.
improved
I mean,
the
yeah.
intake.
But just FYI, don't think you're going to walk in there. You're going to be the only person.
Yeah.
You better go prepared with, I'm going to wait a few minutes with 2 cats.
Who are you taking tomorrow? Cats?
Yeah, 2 male cats.
2 male
You can
cats.
take yours. Take yours and
My
the
guy?
other,
My teenager?
yeah, and
Charlie?
his friend,
Charlie.
the Tex one.
The tuxedo? Mr. Tuxedo?
His name is Charlie.
I think we made the appointment for him. That's
Oreo?
the
I called
one.
him Oreo because he was
Oreo?
black and white.
Well, they asked for a name.
I didn't know he had.
Yeah,
was his
so when you
name?
make the
Charlie?
appointment, you have to name, you have to give them an age, sex, and they have to have a name.
So who are you taking tomorrow?
Well, we plan on taking Oreo and Bob.
Is Bob the big boy?
Bob's a big guy.
Oh, we need
Bob with the big balls?
ones.
Oh, well then there you go. Yeah. 'Cause
There's
if
your
you
two.
if you get them, then I can.
Well, Catherine said that you had made appointments for them.
I did. Remember I told
But she
you
doesn't
that I
have-
made appointments for them.
For them too?
I made appointments for all the cats.
Oh, so you're gonna take 2 different cats to the one site?
Let's cover yours. Get who you signed up for over there,
Yeah.
and I'll work out my appointment.
But those,
I'll have to look at my
those
email.
are good ones to do.
Yeah, that way.
Big
Yeah, and then
We
that
can
way
release him.
that's huh.
Or we can release him.
If we need to, if not, now that I know 2 are going tomorrow, I can just message Scat and tell him, hey, we got 2. You know, this is what I have coming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do
So
they count?
when we get them back, are we releasing them?
Yeah,
Or these
that
are
was
getting
my
neutered,
question.
or-
Don't really want to.
Okay.
Well,
But
my
if I have an outlet for them.
Oh, okay.
Alderman Thomasini told me not to let them loose back in the city.
Well,
You
if
have
they're
to.
neutered or
That's
spayed, why
Why?
not?
Why? Because,
If you-
see,
you-
that's,
you're-
If you
No.
release a cat,
that's the whole
Yeah, that's what I was
TNR
thinking.
program.
if you release a cat, okay, out of where
It came
it's
out.
not where it came from, you have to put the cat back where you picked it up. So you have to go to Miss Ramos's street, and at one of the ends in a ditch, that's where we have to release them. And then I will have to go and convince a neighbor to start feeding them because there's a whole bunch more cats over there. You can't, if you release a cat somewhere out in the wild at my house and it doesn't know where it's at, you're pretty much signing its destiny.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
That's what he told me.
I know.
That's
I'm
you-
glad you said something. I'm
yeah,
glad
no, you
because
can't.
we have
I mean,
to-
if we're gonna release them, they have to be released on that street.
Okay.
Yeah, where they're
On
familiar.
the street from which they came.
In the area where
Yes.
they came from.
Yes.
And
When
then they'll just find their own food.
The cats that are going to Brooks are going in carriers
Yes,
Correct.
Brooks takes carriers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're not vicious.
No.
No, but
Everybody-
if you
everybody.
say,
They do have to go in a
say
carrier,
if you
but not
go
a
in the
trap,
morning
I just wanted to make sure he was.
and we're
okay
using
for
them as ferals, they have to go in a trap.
Covered.
But since these are friendly,
Mhm.
they can go in a carrier.
Separate carrier.
Always.
Yeah.
Never put two cats in the same carrier.
Oh, okay.
And I'm one of those who has shown up at vet appointments with my cat in a pillowcase.
Well, it's not as bad as when I went to the vet the other day with my dog and a lady had her chicken in a pillowcase resting on her shoulder because it was sick.
A cat, they like,
They like the
they don't
pillowcase.
like to see, and I can hold them close.
Exactly.
So when you made the appointment for Brooks, are we getting an ear tip or is it just a basic neuter?
Is it gonna tattoo it?
Let me see.
I want ear tips. I want ear tips.
So
You're gonna do
cats,
both.
They
That's
don't. You
what
don't
I
tattoo
saw.
males.
No,
Well,
we need them
I think they're
vaccinated,
gonna-
right?
They tip the ears.
they will vaccinate them if they're not vaccinated. So yes, $10
Okay,
for the
so what we're
vaccination.
They should get their
We can do this
rabies
afterwards.
tomorrow and their removal.
Needs
Yes.
today, too
And
young,
ear tip,
current.
yes,
Okay,
always.
so needs
Well, I mean, it
today,
said it had both on there when I-
rabies.
You can check it off.
You don't want to do that.
So you tip the ear, but I got something for that. So we tip the ear. So
You clip it.
oh yeah,
Clip it.
while they're anesthetized. Okay, so when they're
They clip it.
anesthetized,
Cut the point off.
okay, right before their procedure or while the doctor's neutering or spaying them, they use a set of hemostats, pinch off the blood flow to the ear, and use some scissors and cut the tip of the ear off, and then put silver nitrate on them.
For what?
Had a cat show up at my house years ago. Do you
Oh
remember?
yeah.
Cat showed up and started feeding it. It hung around for a few weeks.
But only one of them.
Yeah, it had,
Yeah, they
Yes,
only one
so
ear.
it's only one
the
because it
universal
is-
sign that they have been fixed.
No, that's
Yeah,
why.
spayed or neutered.
So that we know that it's
That's a sign.
spayed or neutered. I mean, on a male you can obviously see, but on a female you cannot.
coming around.
So that's what that's for.
Especially if it was a clean
They
cut.
don't. If the cut goes well, it should never even leave.
Let it stay around, let
You
it
like something.
I started feeding. I was feeding it.
Well, then
Yeah,
that's
keep
okay,
it.
you
And
know.
one day he didn't show up anymore. I said,
Because he found something he liked better.
Yeah, didn't feed them well enough, I guess.
Fight or something.
No.
Yeah,
That's why.
It's a clean cut.
And they also say if you're gonna feed them,
straight across.
feed them away from your house. That way they don't, you know.
They're not coming
They're not-
to
yeah,
you.
right
You're
up.
you're feeding them.
Oh, he was coming to my porch.
I know.
He wasn't gonna
Don't
walk
have
away
to
from them. I wish they would do like the right ear for boys and a left ear for girls, because
No.
otherwise then you're like, I don't know what you are.
It doesn't matter.
Let me
You're
lift your
fixed.
tail. I can't.
It doesn't
I
matter. It
can't
doesn't work anyway.
Exactly.
Y'all are too much for me.
I wanna
Okay,
know.
so on the ear tipping, if I find a rescue to take some of the cats, they will not take them if they're ear tipped.
They will not?
Not every rescue will. No.
Really?
Will be. Do you, Miss, lives in Alamo Heights, want to adopt a cat with half an ear missing?
I just
No.
want to live in Alamo Heights. I want to have the money to live
Well,
in
I'm
Alamo
just
Heights.
saying. So, I mean, for
I'll
this
take two cats if I can live in
round,
Alamo Heights.
for this round, because we don't have really very much in place, and if we have to put them back outside, that's what we have to do. But just FYI, going forward, if we're vetting them and I've got someplace lined up to take them, not every place will take ear tip. But
We just need-
granted, some of the places that I get to take the non-ear tip cat will take them as is, and we wouldn't have to vet them at all.
So is
So
that
bas-
an option when you take them to Brooks?
Non-ear
Not-
tip,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's an option, even if they're, Feral Cat Coalition, they're going to get tipped.
Okay, if it depends on what facility you use.
Okay.
So, San Antonio Feral Cats made my appointment for the cats at HCal. They have different criteria. Feral cat, you can go in a carrier, you can get a small ear tip, you can get a large ear tip, you can go in a trap, you can get, it breaks down differently. About a $5 difference between all of that. I voted for a carrier because we don't have 7 traps. And I have to give my 2 back that I borrowed. These cats are all handleable in a carrier because that's what they've been in, in a contained area. And I went with a small ear tip because I can't get anybody to take them fast enough, at least they can go outside, back to their house, as a last resort. You don't.
So, okay, then let's kind of revisit that. So any cat that is part of the feral community is getting an ear tip regardless.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but like the kittens, like what I have, the ones you're taking,
They're not getting,
they're not going to get ear tipped
no,
because they're going to go to a rescue.
yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So basically,
The fact is-
any that we're taking to get fixed.
Well, it's just you would be really surprised about people that, I mean, if it was coming to my house and I pick, you tip that ear because if it runs out the door, I don't have to worry about someone worrying about picking at my cat. But not everybody subscribes to that.
What about
And not everybody understands.
And not everybody knows.
What about
so-
tattooing?
Well, you have to be
The
able to
belly.
get close enough.
No, while they're under. Tattoo
Well, they
the
can
belly.
do that, but
Okay,
just
so tattooing is usually only done at a regular, i.e., person relationship. Some places tattoo, some don't. That's if they're tipping the ear, I can guarantee they're getting zero tattoo.
And I
Yeah,
can
but I
also
didn't know if that
tell
was
you
an
that
option.
the cat that I adopted, Blue, he was supposedly tattooed. It's hard to find that tattoo. It's not like, hey, I'm fixed. It's,
Yeah, but
it's
at
a
least-
little bitty blue.
Yeah, but I guess at least if you
it's
took
just a little mark.
Yeah.
if you took it to the vet and they put it under and then said, "Oh,
They're gonna
wait.
shave the belly.
Yeah, they're gonna shave it and find
they
the tattoo.
anesthetize it. They shave the belly.
They're going to see the
And if
mark.
it has a tattoo,
They're
because
not
it didn't
gonna
get
do
ear
anything.
tipped, then they won't cut it open. But if it doesn't have anything and say it's a female, then it's gonna get cut open. You gotta look.
Yeah.
And that'll be $500, woman,
That's right.
because I had to put it under, not euthanize.
Okay, so ear
Okay.
tip only ferals.
Preferably,
Okay.
please.
I'll put prefer ear tip. Only ferals.
Alternate pickup person. You want to be the alternate pickup person tomorrow?
Item 10,
Make
no.
me bold. And-
Item 10, we already, shush.
Okay, so we're on number 10?
We already discussed that in item 6.
Okay.
What's your city cell phone number?
Shush.
210-8-7.
It's 327
I'm sorry.
75
You don't have a 210 area?
67. Spell that out.
Shut up.
Okay, so are we on number 11? We're going to discuss or action on setting up a community booth with animal care information.
Yes.
So what Julie and I were talking about is setting up an information booth just so people could ask us questions like, y'all didn't know what an ear tip was, or what vets are around us, or what we're doing. We're not taking in owner surrenders. You know, we're only picking up these kind of dogs. Other outlets, to provide the community information on if they don't want to keep their dog. I could give them a couple websites to reference to. Just providing a resource booth for people and explaining to them what the ordinance is and how you got to have a fence, just so we can have some information feedback on where the citizen stands on what we're doing and what they could be doing to help, because there's not a whole lot of help.
So are we wanting to make this like an event?
We can incorporate our event with our micro, like we can incorporate 11 and 13 with our microchip clinic, having an event.
We talked at 14 also.
Julie has information on 14.
Okay.
Okay.
So are
Right,
we
is that what
wanting
you
to
said?
do this as
That's
a regular event or a one time or?
I say we start as a one-time thing and see how people feel, and then we could do it as like every 6 weeks.
Why don't you come up with some type of some wording for a banner? Like we had banners made when we were running for office. I still have mine. You could use it, but it says nothing.
Right,
It
right.
says community information, Sandy Oaks.
Yeah.
If you just make a banner as something with animal control, or
Right.
maybe just some silhouettes of some animals, why don't you ask the council to pick up the cost for that, and it
For the
belongs to
banner?
the advisory committee, and you'll have it, and you can do it on a recurring
That's a good
time.
idea.
You could go set up out in front, we'd go set up in front of the Dollar General, ask them
Right,
inside, ask them if
right.
you can set up there, go at the shops, maybe do there for 3-4
Damon will let
hours,
us
and
do
then
it
go over
there.
there for 3-4 hours. But, yeah, why don't you ask the council for, a banner's gonna be, $40-50.
Right.
Council could pay for that, and you'd own it. You just need somebody needs to have a 10 by 10 tent, you can put it on there with some bunny
Some
cords.
Spanish too.
You
I
guys
have
own it?
a canopy that I can
But, I
lend
mean,
to
we
the
can
How
cars.
do
many people do you
Make it bigger.
generally have show up on your
And
Saturday?
make more rows on there. I don't know.
Wanna come?
Yeah, no,
Um,
yeah.
It can be anywhere
Yes,
from
see, that's what
4
we
to
need is
12 people. It
Yeah.
just depends.
Cause that
Well,
could
yeah,
be
and being
another,
able to
you know,
engage with
just,
people, 'cause they just, you gotta
Well,
very
if you
them
put something on
take
that
them if they
banner
just
that
don't
says
know.
animal
You gotta-
control.
Mhm. You better have
You're
people
gonna have
there
people
to
showing
answer
up.
questions.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Food,
Yeah.
water.
And I think we were successful
Okay, so Chris, have a good idea
alongside
for a flyer. Him
the
and
outside
Catherine
of the
did this, so we
shops
can-
at
Yes.
one time.
We can add to it.
I think you
so we
and
can
someone else
have
was
resource
there.
information.
And that was successful.
Oh, is this
People just,
your-
that was easy off, pull over, ask your question, get back on the road.
Did I give you back your? I did.
Okay.
moving on.
Did
So
you create
wait, you
this?
want to make a recommendation or a?
Yeah.
Well,
Yay.
Catherine helped, but
Catherine, help.
just a little bit.
She must have done this one where it's misspelled.
No, I didn't do that one.
Okay, so
Like
I
I
can
said,
make
yeah.
a recommendation to propose to the council for our community booth to supply us a banner.
Yes.
You gonna design it?
Sure. I sure can.
I mean, if you come up with the design, then I can probably go with Joe and he
Yeah.
can just give pretty.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need a,
I second.
that's what I need.
Okay. Oh, that was Lynette.
And Julie?
Lynn and Julie.
Okay.
Because a lot of what you're doing is really, a lot of this is education for the community, and that's one of the
That's the
most
first
important
step.
steps that y'all can do
Oh,
is
yeah.
educate the community.
Right,
And that's
for
what
sure.
we
I
really
mean,
wanted to,
that's,
so that they know when in the council meeting, when, it was no more animals are being picked up, and then you hear all of the
Right.
outrage. We wanted to put something forth that would show the community, we're still doing something.
Exactly.
The city's still,
Things are still happening.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, we
Now,
still want to
the
help.
newsletter's coming up for June. So I know we talked about, I know that's not even on here, but just think about that.
Okay.
Something like the
It's not
purple
on it.
thing that you had sent.
okay, so that's, all
But
in
we could
favor?
announce your
We
community
have to do-
booth schedule.
Oh, yeah. All in
Yeah,
favor?
all in
Newsletter.
favor? Aye.
Unanimous.
Okay.
You combined it just now, 14
We can
and 13
combine
and 11?
13 and 11.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to read 12 and I'll give my update?
Yes,
Well, hang on a
ma'am.
minute.
Oh,
No,
wait.
sorry.
On 13, have we come up with a fee for the microchip? Or are we just doing it for free?
I thought we were
I
just
thought-
trying to get our money back on it.
And
Yeah,
I thought
wasn't
it
there
had gone
costs
before
associated with
council.
acquiring all the
Yes.
equipment? Didn't-
Well,
I
as
thought
far
we-
as the reader and stuff, I mean, that's a
We
cost.
own it, right.
But
So
it's
what are
the
they-
individual chips for
Right.
$6.95 a piece or something like that?
What's-
$6.95?
I mean, that's nothing. If we could set it up and do it at the same time and have a rabies clinic.
We
if
can't,
we can get
if
a
we
vet
could
here.
do the rabies.
Yeah,
clinic,
we'd have to
But
get a
just
vet
to
here.
do the microchip, I mean, $10.
$10. That
10,
would
15
start to
bucks,
help
and
pay
do it on
back
a
for
Saturday,
the.
Right, it was
gotta-
get
gotta pay
some
overtime,
money
so-
back out of it and go
Well, that would
towards.
be, that's a
more.
sweet price, cause
So $10, and that includes the registration, because that's usually
It's free
what's extra.
registration on, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
What the stuff that y'all got is for free registration, so someone would be there
to do the
making sure that
registration.
they get that done
Is
before.
that something that the committee is going to coordinate and operate? Because our guy's gonna have to be there to do the actual microchipping.
No.
No, he
Yeah,
doesn't.
you can do, anyone
I
can
can
do
do it.
microchipping.
Okay.
Yeah. They're
Anybody can do
preloaded.
it. The only thing
Preloaded.
a vet has to do
is
is a rabies shot. Any other
treatments.
vaccines or the microchipping could be just by someone that knows how to do it. Chris doesn't have to do it.
Okay, so I put $10 down here on the item 13. Do
Yeah.
you want to make a motion to accept
I
that?
make a motion on the action for the recommendation to council on our microchip clinic that microchips are $10 fee.
I'll second.
Okay.
Hold on, she's not here to write. Are you writing down?
I'm writing all these down.
Does
Okay.
that have to go before council?
Uh,
We did talk to him already about this.
Well, we have talked about it, but I don't think we set a fee for what we're going to charge. We made it mandatory.
If you don't do it to
And
Clinton, to
by doing it this way, now we know we keep count of the chips that we got and how much money we, as that number goes down, the number of, amount of money we've collected goes up. Okay, number 12.
Oh, yeah. 12, discuss and/or possible action on pet point management system. Catherine?
So I did get an email back from the lady. Her name is Erina, Erina, and she said that their legal department went ahead and approved a paragraph that needed to be removed from their contract. And so I told her, all right, it's a go. And so she's going to let their legal department know that we're okay with what they sent back. And then they'll send me the document for DocuSign. Well, actually, I'll print it because I think the motion was
For
for
Ken.
Ken to
Yeah.
negotiate the contract. So I'll print it and have
And
him.
that is going to be such a godsend for what we're doing here, because that is the inventory, if you will. That is the intake forms. That's, here's, we picked
All
this
the
up.
information's
and-
right
Our
there.
tracking
No-
system.
No more.
Yes.
And to let the
It's gonna make your
community
life
know
so much
your
easier.
dogs have to be
Yeah.
microchipped.
Yep.
And I think we could maybe, and because it will interface into our website, our city website, and we could add this other information about the community booth and the microchip clinic and, have it as a single point.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's that. I'll let you know more as I know more.
Okay, so the legal hurdle has been crossed.
Thank goodness.
Yay. And I saw the emails, but I did not read them. I just I look at the heading and the first couple sentences and go, they got it going on, okay. Okay, number 14?
Discuss and/or possible action on recommendation to City Council on holding a veterinarian clinic and discuss location options.
This is a mobile vet, yes?
Yes, we're working on it. Julie's got some info.
I spoke to the doctor's secretary today, and she wanted information to be sure that she could present it to him, that it would be cost effective for them to be able to come out. Because, it's a long way out, and
This is
they
for
want-
mobile pet care with Dr. Penny is who we're fighting for.
Okay.
yeah.
And where did they come from?
He's just a mobile vet that
Oh,
sets
just
up.
very mobile.
Uh-huh.
At
He
the feed stores.
at Lock Hill
Oh.
Feed at different right
Does he
different
do the tractor
locations.
supplies?
No, he doesn't do
He
tractor
doesn't do
supplies. Michelle tried. We've been trying to find somebody, but they wanted some crazy
Yeah.
So
contract.
it would be just for vaccinations.
No, he does. He does everything.
everything
Say your
except-
dog is vomiting, he can, help you assess the problem and give you meds. Or it's got a goopy eye. And he does vaccines. He does wellness checks. He
But
can
didn't
do.
he need a facility?
No,
No.
that's Tractor Supply. The
Oh,
one that
okay.
goes to Tractor Supply has to be in a business
Okay.
because they're
So
not
the mobile
it's in
vet,
there.
he can work,
In the
They set
parking
up
lot.
canopies and,
and we could
Some
do it like in the
shade
parking
and-
lot out
He
here?
had preferred to set up in front of a business, so what he brings will also benefit the business. So, like at the strip center, the dollar
We could do
store,
that at, we
Dollar
can do that
General.
at the shops.
He does not have to be inside, right? But if it's raining, he'd
Of course.
prefer,
Yeah.
not canceling. He'll still come, but just
Yeah.
an indoor place. And he's much more relatable to this community.
very, very.
There,
When you say he doesn't know if it'll be cost effective, is he looking for numbers, or if
They're
we
all
say it's a
looking for
if we
numbers.
say he's gonna do vaccinations, I'm sure it'll be a pretty good turnout.
I would
Right.
hope so. And I sent, a map of our, of our area, what it looked like. I sent him population, I sent him, how many residents.
I can tell you years and years ago, probably 15 or more, when they would have a vet come out to the clubhouse.
Yeah, they used to do them here.
And it was very
I feel like
successful.
I feel like the community will, and
Well,
maybe
with
a
Mama
bump.
Wellness on Wheels out here?
Nothing?
No, constant. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
very
yeah.
much welcome, very
Yeah.
much
And I would,
anticipated.
she, when we spoke, she said she would present it to him. He's out until Thursday, trekking across country somewhere. But,
If you had a commitment from him and you could get it in the newsletter, it.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, we've been fighting
And
fighting
I'm
for him
hoping
for
that
since we
even-
started this to get somebody out here, but he has not had an opening. And so a good girlfriend of mine uses him and talk to him personally. And so we got Julie on it to do the emailing and coordinating. And So since they had an opening in his route, like she said, as long as he can make some money out here, he'll come. I mean, provided if, you know.
And hopefully if we can even get him out once, that's what I'm gonna push for, to persuade her to see if she can get him to say yes. Come out, see,
And
how
I've
can you really
heard-
know how
Exactly.
lucrative it'll be for
Well,
you?
you can let him
and
know that,
you-
well, I mean,
you
if
know.
he cares. Wellness on Wheels was coming out here, and they were on a 3-week rotation, and they were booked all the time.
Yeah.
We did a 4-hour window every 3 weeks.
They were busy the whole time.
And I'm sure Damon would allow us to set up there in the parking lot.
Can we ask him what, when you say, go back to, if he says if it's profitable for him to come out, what is he looking to? If he comes for
How many
4 hours,
type-
5 hours, if he comes for 5 hours,
How many-
what does he need to make?
A
Because we-
baseline profit, like how much is he needing to make
Yeah,
for
I
his
mean,
per
we
visit?
could,
And I'm thinking
again,
even the council could,
we
you
could
know,
subsidize
throw a couple
the
$100
cost
at him
through
if
the
that's what it
council, if
is.
That's what it takes. It'd
Yeah.
be a community service.
Exactly.
I'll
Yeah.
call her tomorrow.
We need to make it happen.
I agree.
One
For
way
sure.
or the other.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if that's
So
an
let's
offer,
put-
then
let's
that
put
changes
that on
things.
the-
It does. I
Yeah.
mean, because I don't know what he's looking to make, and we
Present that
can't
to him.
commit
What
that.
would he, for 5 hours, what does he anticipate he'll make? And if he makes $300 and he says he needs to make 1,000, let's say that we will subsidize him at a cost of whatever it is. Because what we're doing as a city, we're turning around, we're vaccinating.
Exactly.
All these
We're making it
animals.
convenient for
Exactly.
people.
We're it's a safety issue, health and safety, so
Yeah.
Hey,
let's look at it that way.
Why?
maybe we can find a bulk set of, or bulk collars, because they're gonna get it, their
They'll get a
thing.
rabies tag. Mhm.
If we
Not necessary.
could provide
They're
them.
microchipping. Remember? Didn't we talk
Well,
about?
true.
But if you're microchipped, it doesn't register your stuff on there.
Oh.
And
No, but I do have this.
But our
Woo,
guidelines
right here.
do require.
They do require
It does say-
microchipping,
but it requires
I'm thinking if
to
we
get
give
them-
them,
I'll send them to you. I know somewhere where we can order them. I'll text you tomorrow.
if we could
The
give them a
It's in our
free,
ordinance
a free
that
collar.
they have a rabies tag.
Rabies tag. the
Yeah,
ordinance
it is in there.
That's true.
Yeah.
So if we
It
could
does.
provide it, we could always say, okay, that dog's obviously belongs to someone. It's got a tag, or,
Well, just when they
That way
come to
we're
the
not sitting
clinic, when
there
we're
guessing.
microchipping, it comes with the little thing. The little microchip has that home again or 24
Yeah,
hour
all
pet
of these
watch.
do.
Yeah, it's that little thing, and they can get their rabies tag. I did find a website that has, you could buy 100 just regular tags for $1 a piece, so people could buy tags if they wanted to, and then I'll find bulk collars. No big deal. I'll send them to you.
Maybe different sizes, and then
Yeah.
maybe people will start putting identification
Well,
on
that's
their
what I was thinking. How
animals.
nice would it be if you encountered a dog on the street that had a collar and a tag on it, and you're
Exactly.
Woo, woo.
Say, okay, don't have to worry
Requires
about.
the dogs to have
Like, go
a
home.
tag.
Yeah, it does. So
It's
we
in
can
our
help
ordinance.
them. I mean,
And I know that when Dr. Penny does rabies, they engrave the tag on the back with your number.
do they?
Mm-hmm.
Right there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's just a little thing that just
Yeah,
makes
like
a lot
a
of
drum
noise.
whistle.
Yeah.
Like a little,
Nothing
yeah.
fancy,
Yeah, just an
but
engraving
the
tool.
numbers on the back.
Cool. Okay, let's do this. So find out from him, if you will, Julie.
Yes, ma'am.
And,
if you get the information before your next meeting, just let us know.
Yes, sir.
We can try to
Or
address
get it before.
Exactly, and we can
next
always just add it as a regular
Agenda item.
agenda item without having to come back through here.
I will call her.
Because our next
tomorrow.
meeting here is not until after our regular meeting.
Exactly.
City council meeting.
Good, okay.
I think we did 15.
We did.
Yes, we do.
Well, what we need to do is the class. So did you want to perhaps, in conjunction with the community booth, to
When we-
talk to people about, do you have a feral cat problem? Would you be willing to help?
Come to
you
a
know,
class on
come
how
to the
to do
class.
that.
We'll show you
Mhm.
what you need
Have
to
some
do.
TNR.
I mean, and let them know, because I mean, it was 2 hours. I
know,
think
we
that's,
You could do it in an hour and a half.
you
Those-
can.
I mean,
They
you could
kind of went
really-
on and on, but
Well,
yeah.
because they're
I know.
1,000 years old. They were talking forever. Those
They
women.
had no one else to talk
They had some
to.
good stories.
But yeah, it can be done in a cohesive. Yeah, I mean
Exactly.
they presented everything very well because they, people were asking questions
Exactly.
and interrupting them. But
So we could let people know,
yes.
we're not looking at a whole lot of your time, but a little bit of your time can make a big difference.
I can maybe even break it down to an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, just the
Especially if they know that they can get vouchers for,
right. I will have to reach out to
because
the
vouchers are
director.
free,
gonna
right?
say, how
Free.
would that work? Can
I
you-
need to. I can't advertise that quite
Oh.
yet. I have to get with the director of the community cat program and ask her.
Yeah.
And that
Oh,
would
I
have to
see.
work through them.
Because the vouchers
Yeah.
provide free, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Spay
At
neuter.
151.
At
151.
only at 151.
That's right.
And then say at 151, if you pick up your cat that's trapped is not feeling well, they'll treat it there,
Yeah.
and then continue
they'll-
to treat
They'll,
it.
and then there's no cost. They'll,
Oh, not
the
even for the
treatment,
therapy?
everything
Oh,
is
okay.
taken care of.
Anyone want a motion for number 16?
What's that, adjourn?
Second,
Or I meant Julie and then,
Michelle.
Lynette?
Michelle.
Oh, we're doing,
And
we're
what time
giving
is
Michelle
it?
credit for that one? Okay.
8:30
All in favor?
8:37. All in
Aye.
favor.
Woo-hoo.